Is that as low as you can go? Okay, thank you. Hello, is that as low as you can go? Okay, thank you.
What are you doing?
Calling around to get the best rate on a car loan.
Why? Everyone knows Alcoa 10 is the best choice to purchase a vehicle or refinance your current loan. And with low interest rates and 90 days to your first payment, it's a no-brainer. You can even apply online and sign all the documents from the convenience of your home.
Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking.
Alcoa 10 Credit Union. It's so easy. Go to atfcu.com for details. Rates are dependent on credit score and equal housing lender.
With smartphones being such an integral part of our daily lives, it is truly an inconvenience when it doesn't work properly. It disrupts the normalcy of our day. When you go into the cell phone store to have it repaired, they just try to upsell you on a new phone. That's why the owner of iDrop, T. Keller, left those places and opened iDrop. His goal is a happy customer. T. Keller and the team will listen to what you have going on and work to solve the problem of your broken device in a way that best suits your needs, instead of trying to upsell you on something that you just don't need. They don't just repair phones, they can service your laptop or PC as well as your Mac. Windows 7 support is over, but iDrop can help you transition to Windows 10. They have a 5-star rating on Google with hundreds of positive reviews. Let me say that again. I don't think y'all understand how big this is. They have a 5-star rating on Google. Their customer service really speaks for itself. So if you ever find yourself with a device that isn't performing as it should, give iDrop a call at 865-888-9740 or check them out on Facebook at iDrop of Knoxville. If man made it, they can fix it.
Deep down the middle's got his man, and he's gone. Jason Swain, touchdown.
It's time for the Swain Event with your host, Jason Swain.
My man.
Real sports talk for the real sports fan.
All you chumps are gonna bow when I whoop him.
It's time for the Swain Event, fueled by Dead End Barbecue.
Give me 2 laps and a Ric Flair.
Swain Event, SwainEvent.com, fueled by Dead End Barbecue. Tuesday, September the 14th. We are live from the Low T Center studio. Ben McKee, Jason Swain, taking you from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. Hope you're having a great morning. 865-255-03 is our telephone number to the Irish Networks hotline. And hour number 1 is brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. You can download the free Swain Event app for Android, Apple devices. Listen anywhere, anytime by going to the podcast if you miss any part of the show, and subscribing to the podcast. However you listen to podcasts and whatever platform you use, you can do that there at the Swain Event app, as we are subscribed to several different platforms that you can enjoy the show. You can view the show on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook Live, and on Twitter, formerly known as, Periscope. But you can do that on Twitter. Ben, good morning, man.
Good morning. Good morning. Hope everybody is doing well. Hope you are doing as well as possible. No, it's a sad day for you and your teammates.
Ooh, boy. Yeah, man. Yesterday, I spent some of my day, probably too much of it, on Twitter addressing the quarterback situation. Talking about this game on Saturday and what the team didn't do and what Heupel's decision is going to be, the quarterbacks, and why is this guy playing and why the other guy ain't playing and da-da-da-da-da-da. And I got a phone call about 5:30 or so. We had knocked out dinner, I was outside cutting grass in the yard, and quickly realized what's really important. Yeah, I got that phone call yesterday evening that Paris Harrison had passed away, and we was trying to confirm it. So I was calling the other teammates, and one of my other teammates had called him, and it was no answer. And a couple minutes later, I got another phone call, and it was confirmed through some people there with the 49ers organization, because he worked with the organization, a player engagement director. He had played there. He had played also with the Saints. But once it was confirmed, just broke my heart, because Paris is one of the good ones. Like, I don't think people really understand, like, everybody loved Paris Harrison. Everybody. Man, he loved everybody. Always seen him smiling. He entered the room and just lit the room up instantly. Every time he entered the room. It didn't matter if it was a training room. It didn't matter if it was a Thornton Center. It didn't matter if it was a meeting room or even a practice field or cafeteria. It just didn't matter. Like, Paris lit every room up that he entered. From Mississippi, drove a little small single cab pickup truck. And I think people don't know about Paris Harrison, man. He was only 6 foot tall, playing defensive end, 21 sacks, and was 5th all time in Tennessee in sacks. 6 foot. 6 foot. Was drafted, played multiple years in the league. Damn good player. I remember it was my junior season, and I had just had a scope. It was my second knee scope, and like the timing was all jacked up. At the time, I had a pit bull for a short amount of time before I gave it away, but I got her ears cropped, and the worst timing ever, because both of us basically had surgery. And like, I really couldn't like go and pick the pup up from the vet, and so the vet was on right by campus, and Paris and I connected because we're both dog people. We both had dogs, and he had a little pit bull too, and his was a girl. I forgot the name of the dog, but I remember hitting up Paris and like, hey man, because I think he reached out to me and asked if I was good. And I said, hey man, I can't go pick up this dog. So he went to go pick the dog up for me and brought it over to my apartment. And he had lived out west in Knoxville too, so it wasn't that big of a burden for him. But I just remember him doing that, and it wasn't like Paris and I was like in the same, because you have like little cliques inside of the other team. Like, everyone's cool, but you just have some guys that you tend to hang out with more. And Paris was a year before me, and so he hung out with like the kind of a different group, and we were all cool again. But like, I remember Paris doing that. I was like, man, Paris, that's a good dude right there. And just so happy for him when he was drafted, because I remember him and Jay Allen and Omar Gaither and those guys, man, they would talk about the league. It was their time. It was their time in 2005, their last season. And I remember talking about it, and when those guys got drafted, I'm just so happy for them, because I knew how hard they work. I knew what type of dudes they were, especially Paris. Man, I feel like it just ain't fair, man. This ain't fair. 37 years old. 37. I spent about an hour yesterday on a 3-way call with Jonathan Wade and Robert Meacham. Just, talked to Tony Brown and my man Sullins over there in Middle Tennessee. Corey Sullins. You can see the outpour from a lot of foreign players at Tennessee and a lot of guys that play with him in the NFL, like what type of impact Paris had on them. And you better pick up the phone. Somebody's on your mind. You better pick up the phone and call up and tell them that they're on their mind, because they may be gone tomorrow. May not have opportunity. I was talking to someone yesterday, one of my teammates. Man, I just talked to him 2 weeks ago. What are you talking about? Because I asked, I was like, hey, have you heard something, with Paris? I said, man, what are you talking about? I just talked to him two weeks ago. Just talked to him. And then a snap of a finger, he's gone. So Tennessee football tweeted out yesterday that the Tennessee football family is mourning the sudden loss of VFL Paris Harrison. Harrison was a two-time captain for the Vols and finished his career 5th in program history with 21 sacks. Man, the one play I remember, man, is 2004 Alabama game when Turk McBride on a handoff to Kenneth Darby, the running back, on a handoff. Turk McBride got penetration, forced a fumble. Paris Harrison picked it up and was rolling to the end zone for a touchdown. It was a defensive touchdown, and that was a huge play in that game. It was a low-scoring game. It was, that was old school football right there, I guess, where you don't score over 30. Find yourself in the teens and the 20s, but that was a huge play in that game, and I remember Paris getting a scoop and score. We all made fun of how he was running to the end zone. But sucks, man. I think one thought about Tennessee game on Saturday after I got that phone call.
Puts it into perspective.
And Tennessee has to forget about what happened on Saturday. You want to get better from Saturday out, so you probably don't completely forget, but you use that as motivation to improve. But you still got to flush it, because you got a game up around the corner against Tennessee Tech, and if you learn a lesson from Florida State, you know that a team can't beat you twice if you let it. So Tennessee certainly can't do that. They got to come out and fix those mistakes, because next week is going to be a big one for Tennessee. 2009 team lost their first game against UCLA, outplayed UCLA, turned the football over, and basically gave UCLA the game. Had no business coming in here and winning, but they did, because we didn't play well. Well, adjustments was made, attitudes was checked, guys start looking in the mirror. Coaching staff did a good job of making corrections, and then Tennessee finished the season by beating Georgia and going to a really good ball game. They went to Chick-fil-A Bowl that year, came up a little bit short against Virginia Tech, but it's about how you finish. Everyone's looking at the Pitt game going, I guess that does it for – no, it doesn't. It doesn't. Every game is its own, and SEC college football is wacky already. So get back to the drawing board. Get healthy. Get back to the drawing board. Fix the mistakes. And you just never know what's going to happen in the near future for Tennessee football. But we'll take our first break of the day. Swain Event, fueled by Dead End Barbecue. 865-255-03. We'll be right back.
If you want to get in on the conversation, call the Iris Networks hotline at 865-200-5503. Grow your business with Iris Networks high-speed fiber internet. IrisNetworksUSA.com.
If you're coming to Knoxville and need a place to stay, do yourself a favor and book a room at Hampton Inn Paper Mill, also known as the Hampton on the Hill. This award-winning property is literally in the top 5% of all Hampton Inn properties. The GM, Stephen Lawrence, is a good old local boy who grew up in the business around Knoxville. He and his staff are always available, always willing to help, and will go above and beyond for their guests. The newest Hampton Inn in Knoxville has clean, affordable rooms, flat screens, fridges, and microwaves in every room. Plus, breakfast is included in every rate. Not to mention, there's also a pool and fitness center on site. If it wasn't so close to amazing restaurants, bars, and shopping, you would never want to leave. At only 6 miles from campus, you're still right in where the big orange action is. Go to HamptonInn.com, search Knoxville, and book your room at the Hampton Inn Paper Mill or call 865-693-5400.
Good morning, Swain Event crew. As the weather heats up, so does our market, and from Johnson City to Knoxville, eager buyers are grabbing up many available properties. The chili is hot in East Tennessee, so if you are ready to buy or sell or want to talk more about our local real estate market, I'm just a phone call away. Or email me at jennifermorris865@gmail.com. And go Vols!
We're here with Dr. Michael Carlson of Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine to discuss PRP, platelet-rich plasma. If you have orthopedic injuries such as shoulder pain, knee pain, Achilles tendonitis, or tennis elbow, you should give them a call.
Good to be back, Jason. We specialize in non-surgical orthopedics, so we treat damaged tendons, ligaments, and joints, including rotator cuff injuries, knee injuries, and elbow and foot problems by using ultrasound-guided injections with PRP. And this form of treatment helps stimulate the body's own reparative process and assist in the healing of damaged tissue.
Doc, what makes your training different than others?
I've been practicing in Knoxville for over 26 years, and I'm certified in interventional regenerative orthopedic medicine through the American Academy of Orthopedic Medicine. They've been the leader in this form of treatment since 1983. I also teach this form of treatment on a national and international basis to other physicians, residents, and medical students. Here in our clinic, I'm the one doing the procedure, and we're using your own PRP, which are concentrated platelets, to treat your injury. So in other words, Jason, it comes from you and it goes back to you. So you know exactly what you're getting and know exactly the level of training involved.
Do what the pros, college athletes, and I have done, and visit them online at trsportsmedicine.com. Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine, East Tennessee's leader in PRP therapy.
For a replay of each day's Swain Event TV, like us on Facebook.
Swain Event, SwainEvent.com, fueled by Dead End Barbecue. Let's get to the Iris Networks hotline. 90 days, no payment for business internet. All right, let's get to Hunter, who's on line one. Hunter, good morning.
Good morning, guys.
Hey, Hunter.
Hey, I just wanted to start off saying it was great meeting you on Saturday, Swain.
Heck yeah,
Really
man.
enjoyed that before the game.
Heck yeah, man. It's good to meet you, too.
Yeah. I had a question this morning, and I know we're all ready to move on to this next weekend and past last weekend, and I didn't get a chance to really listen to the show yesterday.
Okay.
I know the officiating didn't really cost us the game, but there were some big times where there were some bad calls made. People weren't in the right spot. So I was curious, how do they decide which officiating crews come to these games, and do these crews get graded?
Well, when you have two teams playing from different conferences, usually you see the third or fourth conference. So, like in this case, it was SEC versus ACC. I'm not sure if it was like a Big 12, Pac-12 officiating crew, but I don't know if they get graded like the NFL.
I believe it was an ACC officiating crew.
You got to be kidding me.
If I'm not mistaken, I believe it was an ACC officiating crew. Somebody can confirm on the text box or correct me. But they definitely get graded for sure. Obviously, we will never know what ref graded what and what mistakes they made, what they got right, and so on and so forth. But they definitely get graded. I don't know how the officiating crews are picked, though.
Still there?
Oh, yeah, I'm still here. I'm sorry, I was listening.
Yeah, it looks like
I was very
Stuart
confused
Mullins.
that we had an ACC crew.
Yeah, it looks like
confused me. I thought we would have a neutral crew for this game.
Yeah, it looks like Stuart Mullins, who was the head official, the referee.
It was the ACC.
ACC crew.
Ken says that when Tennessee goes to Pitt next year, we'll have SEC officials up there.
That makes no sense.
No, both ways make zero sense.
Yeah, that makes no sense.
I would love to know how that is decided.
What in the heck? Wow. I mean, if you're Tennessee, obviously, you know you got to raise that. You got to raise that point because that don't make any sense. And then you certainly had to point out the spot on third down. Hendon Hooker clearly picked up the first down, but the referee was out of position to even see where to spot the football. He was behind the play, and Hendon Hooker's full body was past the first down. No review, no nothing. And you got to look at Josh Heupel and wonder why he didn't call timeout or why he didn't create more of a stink. I don't know. But that was a crucial play. I'm not saying that Tennessee would score, but, man, sure got a pretty good chance to score when it's first down and you're right there at the red zone. But instead it was fourth down and one and failed to pick up the first down. And Tennessee allowed penetration, didn't execute, but still you would have given yourself another set of downs to be able to score rather than just one play. So usually you see neutral officiating crew. Huh. Interesting. 865-255-03. Appreciate the phone call, Hunter. It was good to meet you. Josh Heupel talked to the media yesterday, answered questions. Before that started, Ben, big news in college football, and that is Steve Sarkeesian. There's multiple big stories, but yesterday morning, Steve Sarkeesian, Texas head coach, already named a starting quarterback. Well, that starting quarterback did not start against Arkansas. Casey Thompson named the starter there for Texas in their next game. Now, why is it significant? Because Hudson Card was their starter going into the Arkansas game. He was pulled. Casey Thompson goes in. The offense does a better job of moving the football. They lose the game, but still Casey Thompson did a really good job. Well, how does this sound familiar? Where have we heard this from? Well, that's happening for Tennessee against Pittsburgh. Didn't get beat down like Texas did, but you lost the game. Obviously, the second string quarterback goes in and he performs a lot better than the first string, even though he did have 2 turnovers, which was costly. But the offense was able to get moving, and you didn't, miss open passes. Heupel was straight up asked, man, Heupel smooth, man. Heupel smooth. A smooth move by Heupel. Smooth move. When he was asked about if Joe Milton is healthy, who's going to be the starter? And he sidestepped that one. He sidestepped that question. And I do not envy Heupel's job right now, because a healthy Joe Milton makes this thing really weird, really awkward, because Joe Milton has played 2 games. Two games at the University of Tennessee. And do you feel like in practice he's making all the plays, he's preparing like a starter's supposed to prepare, but he's going out in the game and just not hitting those, but he's hitting them in practice? Do you feel like you don't want to throw him to the side and you want to roll with him, give him, you don't want to just give up on him? So you want to do his best for him and his psyche, but you also want to do his best for the team, because the team is first. The offense is first. That's more important than an individual player. I understand what Joe brings to the table, but our eyes saw Hendon go out there and play better. Simple as that. And so you play against a team this week, it really don't matter who you play at quarterback, you should win by multiple scores.
All 3 quarterbacks should play this weekend.
Yeah.
If Joe Milton is healthy.
Yeah, but how realistic is that? Seeing 3 quarterbacks play in a payoff game. I mean, we rarely see it.
That's true, but I believe that it should be a point of emphasis. I believe it should be a point of emphasis. I do think Harrison deserves some playing time this weekend. Unless Tennessee is pulling a Jacksonville State, a Florida State. If Tennessee is in that predicament late in the game, or Tennessee treating Tennessee Tech like it did UMass a couple years ago when it needed a stop late in the game to win the game, then obviously you're not going to play Harrison. You may not even play a second quarterback. I don't know how the game transpires to get to that point. If you're struggling that bad, maybe you did flip quarterbacks. But I do think Harrison deserves to play in this particular game. He deserves to go out there and see if he can make some plays. Now, it should be taken with a grain of salt because it's Tennessee Tech and presumably would be in garbage time. And I'm sorry, but making plays in garbage time against an FCS opponent that is not good, it isn't going to move the needle for me. Just like if Hendon Hooker goes out there and balls out, if Joe Milton goes out there and balls out, it'll be nice to see, and I'll be happy for those individuals. But I'm not going to pick Tennessee to beat Florida the next week because Hendon Hooker throws for 3 touchdowns against Tennessee Tech and looks terrific, or if it's Joe Milton, or if it's Harrison Bailey. But I think each quarterback should get reps this game. I really do.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. I'm a little indifferent. We just don't see 3 quarterbacks play when all 3 are healthy, even in games like this, unless you're getting beat, unless you pull in Oklahoma put up 70 points, and we know Tennessee ain't gonna do that.
Well, I mean not 70, but I mean it should be up there.
It should be.
It should be up there.
Don't hold your breath.
Is a bad FCS team, and I'm definitely not holding my breath because I think that, and then I've got the little devil on my shoulder reminded me of what you just reminded me of. But Harrison Bailey needs reps.
He's getting the reps.
Harrison Bailey needs game reps against any competition. The game reps against Tennessee Tech, a bad FCS team, is still different than practice reps.
I just don't feel that way about game reps. I just don't feel that way about third-string quarterbacks. I don't feel the need to have to push them into the game, regardless of the opponent. We've never done this before. Like, we've never been like, hey, third-string quarterback, this guy needs game reps. Like, we never said that about Brian Maurer when he was third. We never said this about any third-string quarterback in the last 10 years. We've never been like, oh, we got to get this third-string quarterback in there against this team. We've just never done that before. So I ain't doing it now. And
the reason I'm doing it now is because Tennessee does not have an established starter. I think all options should be evaluated the best that you can until somebody takes the bull by the horns and runs with it. Until somebody establishes themselves as a bona fide starter, I think all three should get an opportunity to show what they can do.
Heupel on if Milton remains a starting quarterback and is the adversity for that position going forward. This is what he said. This is a transcript. He says, I don't consider the quarterback situation adversity. Watching the video, Joe knows this too. There are opportunities to make some plays in the passing game. There were certainly there on multiple occasions where we're running free in the secondary, and there's nobody relatively close at this level of play against good defense, plays that we have to make. We've got to be able to throw it, catch it, and be a little better in protection at times. Certainly things that Joe can function and has shown the ability to do that. I'm just talking through training camp and the way he's practiced. I don't know where he's at health-wise at this moment. Right now, as we go forward, the guys that are healthy will be ready to go, compete, and play. We'll find out where Joe is here in the middle of the week. Now, we talked a little bit about just all the injuries yesterday, and it's just hard to know on a Monday because you play on Saturday. You're going to be sore as all get out on a Sunday, and no, you're not going to be ready to play on a Monday. There was times when I could barely walk to class on a Monday. And then as the week goes along, you get treatment, you get loose. Then you're good to go by Thursday or Friday. So there's no way for a coach to know about the status of a player being able to play on a Saturday after they just got done playing on a Saturday when asked about it on a Monday. So,
and in college, they're definitely not going to tell if they don't have to.
No.
And he shouldn't. I saw some criticism of Heupel's comments yesterday because he wouldn't declare starting quarterback, and it just baffles me that people don't understand the logic behind Heupel doing that. It's him doing it on purpose. This isn't the NFL where the team has to provide an accurate injury report every single day of the week and report whether they practiced or not. In college, you don't have to do that. It is to the school's advantage, and it still baffles me that people don't understand this logic and why coaches are purposefully non-committal to starters at any position all throughout the week.
And add in the fact that maybe he just truly doesn't know the status health-wise of Joe Milton. So just because you don't get the answer that you want don't mean it's the wrong answer. And this is when we got to kind of look outside of ourselves. Just because we don't get the answer that we want doesn't mean it's the wrong answer. So, all right.
What you hear the coaches say publicly is most of the time it's not truly how they feel. It's not truly how they feel. Their feelings at the podium are typically much different than their feelings behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
And when they're talking to players and talking to coaches and evaluating film, they're just not going to get up at the podium and throw players under the bus.
Okay.
They're going to be very generic, try not to give anything away, and not throw anybody under the bus.
Yeah, Derek Dooley is a prime example of not throwing your players under the bus because you don't want to do that and lose your players. So, the whole Harrison Bailey getting reps, again, I'm indifferent. I'm not like 100% for it, 100% against it. At this point, I'm just indifferent. I just never thought about needing to get a third-string quarterback in so bad. I didn't think Hendon played bad enough to where this thing is open 100%. But anyway, let's get to the phones, and we'll get back to Heupel's comments. We got a audio clip from not Tyler Barron, but Jacob Warren that we'll get to as well. But let's get to the phones first here in hour number one. Who do we have?
Coy and Macon.
Coy, good morning.
Hey, good morning, guys.
What's up?
Headed to work, man. I just wanted to call and offer you, Swain, condolences, and you and your teammates, and really all of Ball Nation over losing, a brother and a great man. So first, just want to say condolences, and then some questions that I had for you on the interception that Hooker threw at the end of the game. Was that the linebacker or the safety that picked it off? Because from watching it on TV, it looked like a linebacker made more of a great play than Hendon Hooker made a bad play, and just wanted to see if that's what really happened, or what that play really looked like.
Linebacker or safety on the interception from Hendon Hooker. To be honest,
to pretty much lock up the game.
Yeah. To be honest, I can't tell you exactly at the very moment. I'm pulling up the film right now. I do know that he was late and throwing the ball across the middle. And whenever you're late throwing the ball across the middle, more times than not, it's going to be picked off. So, Ben, I don't know if you know that was a linebacker or a safety off the top of your head.
It was a safety.
Safety, okay.
Heupel said after the game that he was unaware of the backside safety. Didn't know where the backside safety was, and then on the broadcast you can see the safety just following Hooker's eyes the entire time, just waiting to jump on what looked like a post route that Tennessee was trying to run over the middle of the field, and safety just followed Hooker's eyes the whole way, and Hooker never saw him and jumped in front of it.
Yep, there it is. I just pulled it up right there. That's exactly what happened, man. Backside safety. He didn't see him the whole entire time, man. 2nd and 10. Looks like the coverage is man-to-man on the outside, and looks like a one cutter or one robber. Robber will be the safety, kind of playing crossing routes and playing the quarterback's eyes, and that's what number 9 did, man. He robbed it for sure. So.
Well, when you have a young quarterback, and you talk a lot about with or not young, but any lesser experience, you give them they go through a 1-2 progression and then run. How does it work with really looking off safeties when you're just making that first and second read? I don't really understand that part of it. If you're hey, you got to make that first read, second read. Are you still taught to look the safeties off in that?
That's a great question. Great question. So this is where pre-snap is so important. This is when pre-snap reads in your coverage. So receivers, quarterback, you get ready to snap the football. You know you have a pass. You understand what the responsibilities are of your pass catchers, your receivers, tight ends, and running back. So you have a pre-snap read. That's a snapshot. So if it's 2 safeties high, you tell yourself a couple things that it could be. It could be cover 2 straight up. It could be some type of variation of 2. It can be 2, like a Tampa 2. We saw that a lot with Monty Kiffin, where the middle linebacker gets out really, really deep, and it looks like it's 3 safeties back there, but 3 defenders. So you could see a cover 2 Tampa. You could see a 2-man where 2 safeties high, and then you have the underneath people playing man-to-man. You can see different things at cover 2. So you tell yourself, all right, process elimination, 2 safeties. It can't be cover 1 unless one safety rolls down and the other one rolls over the top. So you have a pre-snap read. And then there's little signs and things like that that will give you a little bit of a understanding of what's going to be post-snap. So if you start seeing movement with the safeties, you see movement with the corners, and this is all while quarterbacks are checking protection and making sure the guys are on the right player, calling out the Mike linebacker, setting the defense. Quarterbacks have a lot on their plate. So now the ball is snap. Set, go, hike, whatever, ball snap. That all can change in a blink of a second. It all can change. The safety can roll over the top. One can roll back. Now, based on the play that you have, you say, all right, well, here's a great single safety route. So you have different routes built into a play where, let's say, you might have a curl that's a great man-to-man, cover 3, single safety route. Or let's say that it stays at cover 2. Well, let's say you have a seam route. The seam usually is dead versus, a single safety unless you have another seam on the other side. So you can play 2-on-1 against the safety. But the post route, it eliminates some routes that you may have in that play. Also, it could highlight and tell you exactly where to go with the football. But these are all things that goes on right before the snap, right after the snap, and that's what the quarterback has to be able to digest quick, fast, in a hurry. So I tried to break that down as easy as I can without confusing anybody, but I hope that makes sense. All right, let's go back to the phones.
We've got Smokey in Charlotte.
Smokey in Charlotte. What's up, man?
Good morning.
Good morning. Well. And you know this, man.
Did y'all get a chance to watch Eli and Peyton last night call that game last night? That was one of the most fascinating sporting events I've watched in a while. It was so cool to watch those guys break down film or break down the plays and pre-snap, everything you were just talking about. That is one of the coolest ideas I've seen in a while.
Yesterday I didn't watch it on TV, man, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, hopefully they're doing it for the rest of the season because it is incredible to watch those guys break everything down. They had Ray Lewis in and Kelsey, and I'm sure they're going to keep doing that. Secondly, sorry to hear about your brother Paris, and that was just awful news. So really sorry to hear that. And then the last thing about Milton, I mean, if I were a coach, I would be in love with Joe Milton too, just because of the arm strength. I mean, he has an absolute cannon, and some of the balls that he throws and how quickly they get on people. I mean, how could you not want to roll with that guy? I mean, I'm obviously a novice and don't really know that much, but the arm strength just jumps off the screen. So, I mean, I get it. And eventually I think he'll hit on some of those long balls. He has to, just as kind of a numbers game. But
well, I mean, he hasn't, man. He hasn't, and that's the issue right now. I mean, it's 2 games where he has been inaccurate, and then 1 game where we have seen another quarterback come in and do a little bit better job in the pass game, even though he threw an interception. And then you have another quarterback that works his tail off, that is third, and where does he fit? In practice, are you opening this thing up? Are you giving equal reps to everyone at this point? Like this, I mean, this is a conundrum again for Tennessee. Trying to figure out, all right, who is the best quarterback, for this team. And so I'm indifferent on trying to get game reps for a third string quarterback. I'm not for or against it. I'm still trying to digest it because we just never really seen that. But Josh Heupel has to figure that out, man. And there's a few people in college football that I probably trust more than Josh Heupel when it comes to developing quarterbacks and managing quarterbacks that has the type of background that he has, dating back to his time at Oklahoma. He's been to other places and did a great job with quarterbacks. So I mean, he has my full confidence to handle it. I do not envy his job right now at all because this is a tough spot for him, especially if Joe Milton is healthy. So, but you're right though. When you look at Joe's tools, like, yeah, I mean, most coaches are going to say, "Oh my gosh, man, he got the full package physically." Joe has to just figure it out in between the ears, man. If he doesn't, this is a second game. If he continues to struggle, then you got to move on. Simple as that.
Yeah. Well, that's all I got this morning. Thanks for the show, and go Vols.
Appreciate you, man. So I got an email. let's see here. Don't email under, there we go, James. So James, dude, just call in. Don't email me and say, well, I would call in, but, but you don't want to hear how the fans paying the bills in the seats, just your point of view. No, I've never done my show like that. So don't make passive aggressive comments on email. Call in if you have a different opinion.
Well, that's just a stupid comment because the show is caller driven.
Yeah. This show is not like other shows where they completely take the callers out.
Yes.
They don't take phone calls. I take phone calls at any part of the show. It's open.
From anybody.
So you listen to the show for more than a day, you see that we don't say, all right, this segment, we're not taking any phone calls. People call in whenever. So it's open. You have an open floor. If you disagree, cool, disagree. But make sure you're able to, to show your work and explain your points and be ready to get some pushback if it don't make sense. So don't do that. Whoever this dude is, what's the name again? James, don't do that, James. Don't do that. Don't play the passive aggressive. Be an adult. Be mature, and call in if you have a disagreement. We can disagree if you have differing view. Don't do that, man. Like, I can have a different viewpoint than Ben and still like Ben and not have to make side comments and passive aggressive comments, and I don't have to do that. We have respect for each other on this program. You show respect, you get respect. But don't do the sideways, back door, side comments. This ain't the show for that, man. And we're grown-ups over here. So call in, James, if you want to call in, if you have a different point of view. We welcome it. It's great. Swain Event, be right back. JC's Tree and Landscaping Service specializes in quality tree work done at an affordable price. Trimming and removing trees are their specialty. They also offer other services like land clearing, stump grinding, crane services, and all of your basic landscaping needs for both commercial and residential. JC's will give you a free estimate and beat any written quote by a competitor to guarantee that you get the lowest price around. Don't risk your land with a fly-by-night service. JC's Tree and Landscaping is licensed and insured. Give them a call at 865-599-3799.
I'm Vince Moore, wide receiver, VFL 1991, and you're listening to the Swain Event.
Guys, your health right now is more important than ever. I recommend Low T Center. That's where I get my levels checked. It all starts with the annual wellness exam where they do a comprehensive health assessment exclusively for men, making it quick and easy to take care of your health. And now they offer monitored self-inject at-home testosterone treatment. Most insurance is accepted. Go to lowtcenter.com now to book your appointment and make your health a priority. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
Top 100 barbecue restaurant Dead End Barbecue is a no-brainer when you are craving the smoky flavor of quality Q. Dead End makes it easy to enjoy their fantastic menu with online ordering from Chow Now for pickup. Or if you don't feel like leaving the house, then have Dead End Barbecue delivered right to your door by Loco Knoxville or Bite Squad. Cheer on your favorite team with the best barbecue around. Check them out online at deadendbbq.com. Dead End Barbecue. The search is over.
At work? Can't call in? Don't feel bad. You can talk to the guys on the text box. It's part of the free Swain Event app.
When I made the move to my own studio, I was worried about this. I was worried about that. I was worried about, hey, did I get this piece of equipment? Did I get that piece of equipment? Does that sound good? Does that not sound good? One thing I didn't have to worry about, that was office furniture, because Office Furniture Outfitters met my furniture needs. With a 50,000 square foot facility, they have East Tennessee's largest selection and are the best value for new and used office furniture. Located in Knoxville, it's easy to find everything you need for your new space, including desks, file cabinets, chairs, conference tables, and more. Office Furniture Outfitters is turnkey. They came to my place, we mapped everything out that was needed, they delivered, and get this, set everything up. To learn more about what Office Furniture Outfitters can do for you, log on to ofonox.com. That's ofonox.com. When you start your own business, you know that branding can make or break a new venture. That's why Swain Event relies on 42nd Street. 42nd Street is a strategy agency focused on finding creative, open-minded, results-driven solutions to brand design. After over a decade of operations in East Tennessee, the brand architects at 42nd Street have the experience and creative know-how to ensure the success of your business branding, logo, web presence, and more. To see a real-life example of their amazing work, you can check out our website at swainevent.com. Don't trust the branding of your business to just anyone. Check out my friends at 42nd Street online at 42st.com or give them a call at 865-382-7007. 42nd Street, brand, strategy, design.
Top 100 barbecue restaurant Dead End Barbecue is a no-brainer when you are craving the smoky flavor of quality Q. Dead End makes it easy to enjoy their fantastic menu with online ordering from Chow Now for pickup. Or if you don't feel like leaving the house, then have Dead End Barbecue delivered right to your door by Loco Knoxville or Bite Squad. Cheer on your favorite team with the best barbecue around. Check them out online at deadendbbq.com. Dead End Barbecue. The search is over.
Out-of-town law firms have been swarming into East Tennessee lately. Firms from Memphis, Chattanooga, and Birmingham have stormed into the area. Wouldn't you rather do business with a local law firm? You know, a true neighbor. Marcos Garza and the pros at the Garza Law Firm are just that. They are our neighbors and friends that support local causes year-round. The Garza Law Firm works to serve you professionally on criminal matters, injuries and accident matters, and Social Security and disability filings. The Garza Law Firm is here for you at garzalaw.com. The Garza Law Firm. Let us help. JC's Tree and Landscaping Service specializes in quality tree work done at an affordable price. Trimming and removing trees are their specialty. They also offer other services like land clearing, stump grinding, crane services, and all of your basic landscaping needs for both commercial and residential. JC's will give you a free estimate and beat any written quote by a competitor to guarantee that you get the lowest price around. Don't risk your land with a fly-by-night service. JC's Tree and Landscaping is licensed and insured. Give them a call at 865-599-3799.
I just wanted to come by and congratulate you on the great work you've been doing.
I like your style. You remind me of a young me.
Failure is not an option.
That boy is good.
Don't remind yourself, nobody built like you. You design yourself.
Attaboy. Attaboy is brought to you by Made in Tennessee Business Fiber Internet from Iris Networks. Find business solutions for you at irisnetworksusa.com.
Swain Event, swainevent.com, fueled by Dead End Barbecue. Time for Attaboy, where we highlight positivity, highlight good stories, uplifting stories, stories about individuals adding value to other individuals' lives, paying it forward. Just positivity is what we like to highlight during Attaboy. And so, Ben, you have a really, really good one. One of my favorite athletes in college athletics.
I'm giving an attaboy to Uroš Plavšič.
Uroš, the best teammate in college basketball.
It's not even close. A couple of weeks ago, if you follow Uroš on Twitter, you saw him post a statement saying that he was ineligible to take advantage of NIL opportunities because of being an international student attending a U.S. university on an F-1 visa that prohibited him from earning income due to restrictions within the visa program. Well, that was on August 16th, and on September 13th.
You need to get with MasterCard then. Just kidding.
No, September 12th, so Sunday, he posted on Twitter that it's time to do some great things for our community. Please read my statement and feel free to reach out to me about any partnerships. Go Vols. And his statement that he posted reads, I shared a post a while back about my inability to profit from NIL partnerships due to my visa status. Since then, I've been exploring the possibility of using my NIL to help local charities. And now I have an update I'm excited to share. With some helpful guidance from our compliance office and the staff at UT Center for Global Engagement, I now have approval to enter into NIL agreements as long as all funds are transferred directly from the sponsor partner to an educational or charitable nonprofit entity. In other words, I can't receive any money, but I can help raise money for worthy causes. This news allows me to leverage my platform as a Tennessee volunteer in a way that benefits families and organizations in the Knoxville area that have real needs. I've already talked to Coach Barnes and asked for his guidance on some local charities that do great work. So I'm now looking for partners who want to make a difference. And I'm working on getting Santi involved too. So Urosh Plavšić.
Stinks, man.
Urosh Plavšić.
I mean, it's great, but it stinks.
Yeah. Yeah. But this is why we love Urosh, right? Because he was able to find the silver lining.
For sure.
In an unfortunate situation.
Yep.
I mean, as genuine as it gets, Urosh is just a great dude, and I know he hasn't necessarily performed on the court the way that we thought he would after transferring, but
after being 7 foot, that's
yeah.
I mean, we assume if you 7 foot, you should be dominating the paint, just like we assumed if you 300-something pounds on the defensive line and you look strong and we assume you'd be dominating. That's why we have the expectations of Elijah Simmons, but sometimes it don't work out that way.
Yep. But Urosh, hard not to root for him. If you don't root for Urosh, you need to reevaluate yourself.
If you don't root for Urosh, you're a bad person.
Yes. That's pretty much what I was saying.
Yeah, you're a bad person. You are a terrible person. Not just a bad person, but terrible, disgusting. I mean, just how could you not root for Urosh? It's the best college basketball team made in America, and throw him in football too. Maybe even the best athlete teammate in America, including football. How about that?
Hard to disagree. Trying to think of a better teammate. I can't think of one.
Yeah, he's really good, man. But that disappointing news of not being able to capitalize on your name, image, and likeness, and make some money for yourself, but to immediately say, okay, well, if I can't make it for myself, let me go make it for other people that need it. That speaks to what type of dude Urosh is, and it speaks to the culture that Rick Barnes has there at Tennessee. So no surprise why top players in the country want to continue to be coached by him and be a part of this the basketball family.
These NIL deals are starting to. I mean, some of them are just kind of mind blowing. Got a Minnesota wrestler signing with the WWE. Paulo Banchero apparently is going to already be in 2K.
That's pretty cool. 865-255-03. Hour 2 is around the corner. Got some good stuff here in the text box that we'll get to. We got phone calls that we'll get to. Engagement is always a thing here on Swain Event, man. Your voices can always be heard here on the Swain Event. You can call in. You can use a text box. However you want to, however you feel comfortable, you are more than welcome in doing that. Keller is offering credits for old home systems. Right now, you can trade in your old HVAC system and earn up to $1,500 towards a new Select system. Trade your old electrical panel and receive $500 in credit for your old one as well. Standard water heater, trade that in for tankless water heater, $500 in trade. Swain Event, Hour 2, coming up. Stay with us.
Is that as low as you can go? Okay, thank you. Hello, is that as low as you can go? Okay, thank you.
What are you doing?
Calling around to get the best rate on a car loan.
Why? Everyone knows Alcoa 10 is the best choice to purchase a vehicle or refinance your current loan. And with low interest rates and 90 days to your first payment, it's a no-brainer. You can even apply online and sign all the documents from the convenience of your home.
Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking.
Alcoa 10 Credit Union. It's so easy. Go to atfcu.com for details. Rates are dependent on credit score and equal housing lender.
When I made the move to my own studio, I was worried about this. I was worried about that. I was worried about, hey, did I get this piece of equipment? Did I get that piece of equipment? Does that sound good? Does that not sound good? One thing I didn't have to worry about, that was office furniture, because Office Furniture Outfitters met my furniture needs. With a 50,000 square foot facility, they have East Tennessee's largest selection and are the best value for new and used office furniture. Located in Knoxville, it's easy to find everything you need for your new space, including desks, file cabinets, chairs, conference tables, and more. Office Furniture Outfitters is turnkey. They came to my place, we mapped everything out that was needed, they delivered, and get this, set everything up. To learn more about what Office Furniture Outfitters can do for you, log on to ofonox.com. That's ofonox.com.
Top 100 barbecue restaurant Dead End Barbecue is a no-brainer when you are craving the smoky flavor of quality Q. Dead End makes it easy to enjoy their fantastic menu with online ordering from Chow Now for pickup. Or if you don't feel like leaving the house, then have Dead End Barbecue delivered right to your door by Loco Knoxville or Bite Squad. Cheer on your favorite team with the best barbecue around. Check them out online at deadendbbq.com. Dead End Barbecue. The search is over.
When you see the happy face on our truck, you'll be smiling because you'll know that you're in love.
At Hiller, we care about your family's comfort all year long. If you get caught without air conditioning this summer, we're offering a free service call with any repair. That's a free service call when we do the work on your HVAC system. Visit happyhiller.com to schedule your appointment today.
Call the Happy Face Truck today.
Touchdown or turnover is backed by Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union, a place where you belong.
Touchdown or turnover, backed by Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union, the place where you belong. Better rates and better service. Turnover margin is a stat that I'm paying close attention to. I will be talking about it. I'll be highlighting it. I think it's very important when you, for any team, especially this football team, where defensive depth is not where it needs to be, and then offensively we assume that it will be further along than the defense. That's not the case so far, but turnover margin, super important right now. Tennessee is -4. Had one turnover against Bowling Green, a fumble, and then you had 3 against Pitt. And defense did a really good job of bowing their neck and forces field goals there. But the fact remains, you are at -4. Touchdown turnover. Tennessee evens. They even the turnover margin versus Tennessee Tech. They even the turnover margin, touchdown or turnover. That would mean you get 4 takeaways with 0 turnovers. Touchdown turnover.
So the turnover margin is at -4.
Right now, you even it after this game. So that would mean you have to be +4 against Tennessee Tech.
I'll say turnover. There's just no evidence of Tennessee forcing 4 turnovers in the game. Even against Bowling Green, who is not a great opponent by any stretch of the imagination, they couldn't force a turnover against Bowling Green. So if you can't force one against Bowling Green, didn't force one against Pitt, I have a hard time believing that you're going to force 4 in one game, regardless of who the opponent is. Now, I don't think the turnover margin is a accurate reflection of the defense. I think the defense has been doing a good job of getting their hands on the football. Theo Jackson nearly had a pick last week when he jumped in front of a route. They've been trying.
They had two.
There's no debating
this season. Yeah,
there's no debating the effort. Tennessee's defense has been putting in the effort to force turnovers. It's literally the first thing that Tennessee's defense does every single day of practice. They stretch, and when they break from stretch and warming up, they go into individual drills, and the defense does a circuit where it's split up into 4 groups. I'm forgetting how they split them up. Defensive line, linebackers, maybe it's just 3. I don't know. But they split up into groups, and they rotate from Rodney Garner, who's doing one type of turnover drill, to Mike Eckler, who's doing another turnover drill, to Tim Banks, who's doing another turnover drill, to Willie Martinez, who's doing another turnover drill. So it's not for a lack of effort, and you've seen them get their hands on the football. The ball just hasn't bounced their way. Just been some unfortunate luck from the defensive standpoint. So I think the defense will force a turnover or 2. I just don't know about 4 in one game. And I don't trust the offense to just play flawless football against anybody. So I say turnover.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going turnover 2. I don't think it'll be 4. I think it'll be +2. I think it'll be +2 at the very minimum. I think obviously the speed and the power will overwhelm Tennessee Tech, as it should, and I think Tennessee will at least be +2 in the turnover margin. But +4 is a lot in one game. I wouldn't be surprised if it happens. Not saying it won't happen, but I ain't putting any money on it, and that's how I answer these questions, as if I'm putting my own money on it. So I'm going to go turnover as well. 865-255-03. Let's go to the Iris Networks hotline, and let's get Turkey Man. Turkey Man, good morning.
Hey, brother. I was going away a little longer. I just got up and got some things to do, and I got to think, well, I might get busy and I can't call back. But you talking about Urosh? I guess I said that right.
Uros.
Right. Okay. Hey, you remember here a while back I sent you as this white boy, and I said, this is Ben. And you said Ben would like to be that. It's a guy that's on YouTube, and it's pretty cool. I can't remember the guy's name is, but it was for this name and likeness deal. About he had started a YouTube page or channel, and he was doing stuff with basketball. And then he got an offer to go to college, play basketball. Well, he couldn't do the YouTube at that time, and I got to thinking about that. This would be a perfect way for him, Urosh, to have him a YouTube channel and doing stuff Urosh does. And I think he could do that. I believe he could, and he could really use his to his advantage, so to speak. So I just thought of that, and I thought, could somebody like him have a YouTube channel?
As long as the money doesn't touch his hands and go straight from YouTube or Google straight to the nonprofit organization, is what the feedback that Uros got regarding his ability to earn income. He can't, but he can raise money for others. Who's next?
David in Louisville.
Dave in Louisville. Good morning, David. Thanks for the phone call,
brother?
Turkey Man. What's up, Dave?
Hey, nothing. Did the game Saturday. I applaud their effort. Again, not the outcome we wanted. I had a couple questions. Do you feel any certain type of way, and this is not my opinion, but speaking to someone, about some of the coaching decisions throughout the game throw up any red flags at all for you. For example, going shotgun when you need an inch, or keeping Jabari Small out there, knowing you're thin at running back to in the first half, leaving you Jalen Wright all the second half. Anything like that, as far as coaching, give you any type of red flag, Swain or Ben?
I believe Jabari Small. I mean, you leave him out there because you're confident in his ability to protect the football, and so I don't have a problem with that. I think the 4th down and 1 shotgun, and we can always look at that hindsight and say that was a bad call. But we see teams all around the country run the ball that way in 4th down and 1, especially if they have a running quarterback, because you want the defense to be able to see the mesh point there. But when it fails, it pisses you off. I think even if you're in I formation with that push that Pittsburgh had, you're not getting it anyways. Honestly, if you're under center and you're in the I, because we had 2 linemen on the ground in the backfield, line of scrimmage was moved. So yeah, I'm not a big fan of it, but I do understand that it works.
And had just worked on the Jalen Wright touchdown.
Yeah, it works. It just it's a bad optics when it doesn't work, because it's like, all right, shotgun with a couple inches to go and you snapping the ball 3 or 4 yards backwards to go an inch forward. But it works. It just, the execution was bad there because you didn't get the push. And I'll say this again: if we were I formation, I don't know if you would have got it anyways, because there was push there in the middle. So
what about like the 130 yards plus of penalties, or knowing you're in a dogfight, you need your timeouts, and
I was going there,
blowing 2 of them. I just stuff like that.
Yeah. I was going
way
there
too early in my opinion, but I'm just saying what people are in my ear about, and I'm just like, chill out, chill out. Like, let's let it play out just a little bit. But last thing, I'll let y'all go. Just if you all could maybe let me know, is Byron Young finally allowed to play? Is Cooper going to be healthy by the Florida game? And then it was a Jabari's collarbone. Is he okay? And then Jalen Hyatt concussion-wise. I know that was a lot to throw at you if you took notes, but just player injury updates and eligibility updates, guys. Love y'all. Love the show. Call back in soon.
Byron Young is eligible. Hypo mentioned that yesterday. As far as the injuries, it was Monday. It's Tuesday now, and so I think that's going to be an ongoing thing. We'll see what happens with Hyatt. He did take a spill. He may be able to play, may not be, but he has to pass certain tests, things like that. I've had concussions, and everyone's different. Like, the way you respond to a concussion is different. Is that his first one? Is that his second one? The more you get, the harder it is to bounce back. So if it's his first one and it's mild and it's not that severe, then he may be able to come back and play. We'll see as the week goes along. Same thing with Cooper Mays. We'll see how he progresses. And then Jabari Small, I haven't heard an update on his shoulder. I do remember seeing him walk off the field, and you always know it's a shoulder by how they hold their arm, and they basically drooping one side of their shoulder as opposed to the other side. You can kind of tell it's a shoulder injury. So, don't know if it's a sprain, something he can brace up and roll with some treatment, or if it's something that's significantly worse, and you want to protect him from not getting hurt anymore, because he's going to be taking shots on that shoulder because he's a running back, and he's going to be falling on it, and he's going to be trying to block too in the passing game. So they got to determine if he's able to protect himself, or if he's able to play without making it worse. It's something that he can play through but just manage the pain. So don't know the answers with Jabari Small, Cooper Mays, or Hyatt on a Tuesday. Not yet. 865-255-03. Go to the text box as promised. Andy Mizuno golfer says Hooker should have pulled that. He could have ran around the outside. I agree. I thought that was a pull. If that was truly a zone read, that was a pull. Dusty Rose with a joke says, is Uro tall enough to catch a Milton pass? Question is he fast enough? Got to be fast enough. I don't know if he's fast enough. Other McKee says you can You can tell they're trying to strip the ball on most tackles. The turnovers aren't there. They'll come. If you continue to work on it, they'll come. They'll come. They will come. If you work on it in practice, you make it a point of emphasis in practice, they will come. We just need them to come now. You -4 in turnover margin, it's time for them to come. This will be a good time to get it going as you head into Florida next week.
Wanted to revisit David's point about the timeouts, and I did not have a problem with the 2 timeouts that Heupel used. He didn't just take a timeout just to take a timeout. On the first timeout that he took in the second half, it was right before a critical 3rd down that Pittsburgh was facing, and there was some confusion on Tennessee's defense as to where to line up and whatnot. And Heupel took a timeout, and Tennessee ended up getting the stop.
Well, if you are – I understand what you're saying, but if you're a Heupel, you would want to make that stop without the confusion. The last thing you want is to call timeout because of confusion with personnel. This is why you go through walkthroughs.
Right, but isn't that a separate issue? You're right, but isn't the debating whether or not Heupel should have called a timeout in that situation or not different than the fact that, okay, why are you confused in this situation? Why are we facing a critical 3rd down and we have confusion on the defensive side of the ball? Yeah, that's a separate issue, and I'd rather Heupel take the timeout and clear up the confusion on a critical 3rd down than not take the timeout.
Yeah, but that's not – the point is, coaching-wise, calling a timeout because your guys are not lined up in the right place, that is a reflection on coaching. So remember when Pruitt in his second year where we had lost to Georgia State, we had lost to BYU, guys wasn't lining up right, period. And you didn't call timeouts, and guys were out of position and we failed to make plays. Regardless if you call timeout or not being where you need to be is a reflection on the players and on coaches. Now, coaches could be telling you exactly where to be and doing a great job of telling you that, and you just mess it up, and it could not be the coach's fault, but it's still a reflection. It's like being a parent. You could be teaching your kid everything that's right about how to act, how to behave. If they go to school and they don't behave, it's still a reflection on you, regardless of you prepared them or not. Same case here is they had to call timeout because you didn't have guys lined up. Ideally, you don't want to do that. Mm-hmm. You want to call timeouts because, you're trying to stop the clock. You don't want to call timeouts because, guys don't know where to go. If you're on offense and the play clock is running down and you got receivers that's on one side of the field and then he's running on the other side of the field because he know where to line up, and you see a timeout called, watch the reaction of the head coach.
Oh, yeah.
So you don't want to have to call timeouts because guys don't know where to go, guys are not in the right place, or you confuse. You want to be able to get that taken care of during the week so you can save your timeouts just for clock purposes. So I'm not ripping the coaches on that one, but you just don't want to use the timeouts for that is what I'm saying.
Right. And that was the case with the second timeout as well. The first timeout that I'm talking about, it was on the Pittsburgh drive after the Jalen Wright touchdown that cut the lead to 41-34. Pittsburgh goes back on the field, Pickett incomplete on 1st and 10, Pickett incomplete trying to find Addison on 2nd and 10, and that was the incompletion that Theo nearly stepped in front of and picked off. Then there was a timeout prior to the 3rd and 10, and then after the timeout, Tennessee comes back with Theo blitzing off the edge, forced Kenny out of the pocket to the far side of the field, and Pickett launched it downfield towards Warren Burrell, and Burrell did a good job of ripping the ball out as the receiver was falling to the ground. So the timeout paid off, but you're right. You don't want to have to use a timeout in that situation.
Yeah.
And it was the same situation with the next timeout. Actually, on that very next drive for Tennessee, 1st and 10, Jalen Wright rushes for 2.
They use it on offense, yeah.
Yep, and you're facing 2nd and 9, and the receivers were stacked, and it looks like they weren't supposed to be, and they switched. Hooker gets frustrated, calls timeout, and then Heupel gets frustrated on the sideline and is yelling at somebody. Don't know who because you can't see them in the shot. Callaway's kind of throwing his hands up like, "Hey,
I was livid there.
What went wrong?" So, I'm my point of what I mentioned a moment ago is like I'm not questioning Heupel's usage of the timeouts. I like taking the timeouts in those situations, but to your point, you wonder, why are we using a timeout? Why do we have to use a timeout in that situation?
That shouldn't happen. I mean,
Correct.
you run an up-tempo offense. The playbook is not, complex enough where, you shouldn't know where to go. And, again, I'm not sitting here saying, man, Heupel is terrible, because you could be doing everything right from a coaching standpoint, but then the bonehead players just not do it right. That can happen. That could happen. But you don't want to use that timeout. And I guarantee you, only having one left, that affected how aggressive Heupel wanted to be with calling a timeout on that 3rd down and 2 when Hendon Hooker picked up that first down, but he didn't. Heupel only had one timeout.
It's 1,000% the reason why. He said that he was worried about burning his final timeout, and I don't think it's like people are making that out to be like one of the worst coaching mistakes ever. Heupel not challenging. I would have challenged because, I mean, is one timeout really going to get you the ball back with Pitt running the clock out on offense? I feel like there's maybe a greater level of chance of you getting that spot overturned than getting the ball back with time on the clock with just one timeout in your pocket. So I kind of think the risk reward was worth it in that particular situation. I do think that Hendon Hooker picked up the first down. I think that the call on the field was wrong. I think it was a bad call by the refs. He wasn't even in position to really mark the ball properly because he was behind the play. But the reason I don't think it was as egregious of a non-challenge by Heupel as people are making it out to be is because although I think that Hooker picked up the first down, you can't see where the ball is on the screenshot that has been going around social media. And if you can't see the ball, that's not conclusive evidence. That is not 1,000% evidence that Hooker got to the line of gain. And I don't trust the referees to make the right decision, make the right call in that situation. And because it wasn't 100% conclusive, in my opinion, you would have been burning your 3rd and final timeout in that situation.
Yeah, and this is why it's important for the coaches up top that do have the view, that can see the replay played on the monitor, to communicate with the coaches down on the field, especially Heupel, and let him know, hey, you got to call timeout to get this thing challenged. But I don't 100% look at the coaches in that situation. This is a coaching moment for the players on offense. Like, hey, man, and players on offense, players on defense, it's important to have perfect alignment, perfect assignment. That is the number one most important thing when playing football, is to know where to go and know what to do. Because if a timeout is called, it can affect your chances to win later on in the game. And that was the case. Josh Heupel didn't want to call a timeout. Now, I probably would have called it just because, who knows if you get another opportunity to get back down there and score.
Exactly.
But, still, you don't want to have to call those timeouts. So think about it. 2 timeouts were called because guys wasn't lined up properly. One on offense, one on defense, and you want to save those timeouts. You want to be able to have timeouts used for clock purposes, not to get guys lined up. All right, let's go back to the phones.
Real quick, last thing on the replay is what frustrated me is that the refs didn't ignite the replay on their own. Heupel was in the ear of the side judge. And I feel like they should have reviewed it on their own rather than Heupel challenging. But we've got Rusty, and then we've got another phone
Buck
call
Nasty
behind Rusty. Yes, Buck Nasty.
Rusty, good morning.
Hey guys,
what's up?
Not much. Just I have a real thing that I wanted to discuss, but 2 things real quick. Well, what we should do in those situations, as opposed to using the timeout, is do what Narduzzi did, which is have one of your defensive linemen fake a cramp.
Ooh.
And that gets you the free timeout.
There it is. That's what we should have done.
Yeah. Have your players taught that if we're not aligned correctly and it's a big situation, you got hit by a sniper. That you know.
How about that?
That'll stop the play. It's what Narduzzi did.
Yep.
Yeah, so hey, anyway, yeah, just want to send out condolences to all the VFLs and everybody out there who's devastated by the news. One of my favorites of all time, the opening play against Alabama in 2004 is still one of my great moments. I always loved Paris and just hate it for everybody and for his family and for all you guys. Condolences.
Thanks, man.
And try to move on with what I wanted to talk about today was this is, I guess, for Ben, because I've heard Ben talk about it enough with the whole ties. Can't stand ties. And I have a scenario, and please indulge me and let me get through my scenario and to see how much Ben really hates ties. It's the last weekend of NFL football, and the Steelers are 10-6, and the Ravens are 9-7, and neither one of those teams are getting the wild card. But whoever finishes ahead in that division is going to win the AFC North. And we have now found out that the Ravens won their game. They're going to be 10-7 to end the season. The Steelers, we know, were 10-6 going in. The Steelers ended up in overtime. The Steelers have the ball with about 2 minutes left, and it's still tied. And the other team's out of timeouts, and the Steelers decide we're 10-6, and if we're 10-6-1, we win the division because we're 10-6-1, which is better than 10-7. So we're going to take a knee and take the tie. And the Steelers go to the playoffs, and the Ravens sit home. How much do we still hate ties?
I still hate ties. Ties are the most stupid thing in sports. Now, obviously, I would be rooting for a tie in that particular situation because it's what's best for the Pittsburgh Steelers, but that doesn't mean that ties aren't still stupid. That's just taking advantage of a stupid rule. Ties are stupid. We play to win the game. There should be a winner. There should be a loser. No participation trophies. Ties are stupid in soccer. Ties are stupid in football. Ties are stupid everywhere. I know people don't like hockey around here, but the one great thing the NHL does, and I don't care how much people hate shootouts or losing out on 2 people or 2 points to shootouts, the fact that they actually have something that determines a legitimate winner is A-okay in my book, and something that they do really well. Ties are stupid.
And I'll add one more thing. I'll say what I say about baseball being boring, but they'll play until the sun come up to find a winner.
Yes.
I'll give them credit for that.
Agree, but I will say this.
Oh, you agree now?
In that situation, no, I think ties are stupid, but I think there are a time and a place for them because in that situation, the Steelers, even though they tied that day, the Steelers are the winner and the Ravens are the loser. So by taking a knee right there and getting out with the tie, the Steelers are the winner.
Yeah, but again, that's taking advantage of a stupid rule. I mean, you think you're getting a gotcha, but you're not. It's just taking advantage of a stupid rule.
How about this, man? I hate shotgun on 4th down and 1. I hate it. But if it's successful, hey, man, that's all that matters. I just want my team to be successful. But I don't like 4th down and 1 on the goal line running shotgun.
The reason for the ties are sometimes in a football game, in an NFL game, we don't need to play all day, especially in a regular season. Now, in the playoffs, somebody's got to advance. There's got to be a winner. But in the regular season, there's situations for where getting a tie is actually a victory for you.
Okay, but we're willing to play an extra quarter of 15 minutes. Why?
10. They only play 10.
10, 15, whatever. Why can't we alternate possessions like we do in college?
You can change the rule. I'm fine with that, but start on the 40, so you're not already in field goal range. If you want to do that, that's fine. I'm good with any of those type of things. I'm just saying there is a time and a place to get a tie to where it benefits your team.
Yeah,
ties aren't always kissing your sister. People always say ties are kissing your sister. That day, the Steelers would be celebrating the tie if they won, and that's the whole thing that I'm pointing out. It's not always kissing your sister when it benefits you to tie.
You're not wrong, but that's different than me thinking ties are stupid because ties are still stupid, even if the Steelers were able to take advantage of a stupid rule.
Right, I get what you're saying. I'm just saying we could play all night and have 100,000 injuries in an NFL game if they just kept playing and playing and playing and playing.
Colleges
And
don't. Change the rules. That's my whole thing. Just change the rules. Or adopt Russell Wilson's idea of an overtime that he shared last night. Just do alternating kicks after the OT period. Do something to where somebody wins and somebody loses.
People would lose their mind if you won an NFL game on a shootout, quote unquote, with kickers.
Well, your team should have made more plays during regulation.
Right, I know. I'm not saying you're wrong. There's no right answer is the thing there. Tons of people despise the college alternating rules and starting on 25. It's not real football. There's no kicking. There's no kickoffs. There's no punts. People hate that rule. People think that's stupid. And I don't hate the college. I don't hate the college overtime rules, but tons of people do. So there's no right answer. And sometimes getting a draw, getting a tie, whatever you want to call it in sports, is the right thing to do.
Yep. Appreciate you, Rusty, man. Always good to hear a good debate back and forth. Let's get to the Buck Nasty. Buck Nasty, what is up? Good morning.
Jeez Louise, boys. Do you think Rusty uses his tongue when he kisses his sister? Golly, Bill. If ifs were candy and nuts and all that other saying, geez Louise, what if aliens come down and abducted Joe Milton and they returned his football he threw last Saturday? Good God almighty. I was so confused at the scenario laid down there. Golly, Bill. Holy smoke.
Rusty's a thinker.
I'm telling you, yeah. Ooh, he's thinking with the wrong thing, I believe, boys. But anyways, I was calling in. Everybody's down on our coaching staff. I was great. Hey, I thought the coaching staff did wonderful. Yeah, there was a lot of second guessing and this, that, and another. I heard you guys go ham on the receivers yesterday, and rightfully so. There's things that have to be cleaned up, no doubt, one way or another.
I thought it was pretty
nice. But my question for you, Swain, is with Hyatt in particular. Now, I've noticed Hyatt in the first game, and he only got one attempt yesterday before he got hurt. But it seems like he likes to let the football get into his body without catching it with his hands. Is that because Milton throws it so hard? Or is that a technique problem that he needs to work through?
Technique problem.
Okay. I just noticed he's trying to let it get in his breadbasket a little much instead of going out and getting it with his hands. Is his hands not strong enough to hold on to the football, or is it just something he's just not doing?
Well, I mean, obviously he's not comfortable using his hands and not catching the ball with his body. And, this is why you catch 100 balls a day on a jug machine. You do that during the summer, you don't have these issues. And so, I start questioning, okay, what have these guys done in the summer? If you're not catching the ball and it goes back to that for me. The one thing you can do, though, is take the pad off the goalpost and stand right in front of the goalpost, and then have someone throw you the ball while you basically, hugging the goalpost, but you're catching the ball in front of the goalpost, and if the ball hits the pole, then it's gotten too close to your body. So it forces you to catch the ball with nothing but hands. And so that's what I do with receivers that I used to train, is I would take them by the goalpost and make them catch balls around the goalpost so they could not use their body. And so maybe that's something that Hyatt needs to do. But you can't be a body catcher because, there's going to be too many situations where you got to catch the ball away from your body, away from DB, with your hands. So, it's a mental thing. He needs to shake it, but he's had 3 drops in 2 games.
And if you want to play in the NFL, that's how all the quarterbacks throw it in terms of velocity.
And we're not even throwing intermediate short routes, so it's not even that hard. Honestly, we're throwing a bunch of deep shots. So the pass against Bowling Green, that was a
30 yards down the field. 20, 30?
Yeah, so it wasn't that hard. And plus, again, you train for that because the jug machines are spitting out 80 miles per hour. So, the throwing too hard, I think it's a bunch of bull you know what.
No, okay, I was just wondering about that in particular. Just from what I've seen from him, I've seen other receivers catch it with their hands. I just thought it might have been something that was in on him himself.
Yeah, it's mental. It's mental. He gotta shake it off.
All right, guys. Well, what I was telling you about the coaching staff, some of the things that I really liked that I second-guessed during the moment was why would you line up Hendon Hooker right along with Jalen Wright on his first possession? You got the backup QB with a third-string running back, but if you think about it, it made sense because that's probably who he's meshed with more in camp than anybody else because they're running with the 2s and the 3s.
Yeah, but you got Hendon who has more experience than probably anybody in that room. So if you Tennessee coach staff, you should feel comfortable about Hendon Hooker in those situations because he has a lot of big game experience.
Well, here's another question I got about Hendon in particular. Is the reason that they're rolling him out, is it to cut down half the field to reduce his reads? Because when he stood back in the pocket and he threw that terrible pick, it just seemed like he never even seen the DB whatsoever when he launched that ball. Is them rolling him out a way to cut down on half the field and reduce his reads for him?
It could be. Could is the key word here. Because we don't know how Hendon handles full field reads. So it could be, or you could say, hey, here's a guy that has great running ability, and we're going to take the thinking out of it. We know you can make a full field read, but check 1, check 2, and we move in the pocket. And moving the pocket also helps the offensive line too. So we have an offensive line that's not necessarily, protecting the quarterback like we ideally want. So moving the line helps the offensive line as well. So you force, backside defensive ends and backside, D tackles to have to run a little bit longer, and then you use your running back or use your tight end to secure one edge of the formation, and then you have 2 reads, and then your third read is a run. So not all the time does it point to a quarterback's inability to read an offense. Sometimes it's to protect the offensive line when you have a quarterback on the run.
I think it's option B that you described. I think it's to get Hendon on the move, and if the receivers that you don't trust right now aren't getting open downfield, you can take off and make a play with your legs. Or if the offensive line, who is still trying to gel together, and I think the offensive line, I don't think they play bad football, but I think they'll play better as the season progresses.
I hope so.
As they gel together. That's such a key component that we don't talk about when it comes to offensive line play. Cohesion, and this group, this 5 hasn't played a ton of football together, and you got Cooper out of the lineup who's a key part of the starting 5. So I think that unit will get better as the season progresses. But if somebody has a missed assignment, gets beat one-on-one, if you're rolling Hendon out, like you said, Swain, that kind of overshadows the blown block up front along the offensive line, and Hendon can make a play.
Yeah, 5 sacks, man. Pittsburgh had 5 sacks, so sometimes you want to move the pocket to help the offensive line. So, all right, let's go back to the phones, and let's get to Dave Toner. Dave Toner, good morning.
Morning, guys.
Hey, Dave Toner.
So, excuse me. Swain, you were a receiver. As a receiver, if you're running 50, 60, 70 yards downfield and the quarterback is constantly overthrowing you, when do you lose confidence in running those long routes? And you could answer that in just a minute. I also wanted to say the caller, sorry, very, very sad for the family of our ball linebacker that just passed. The caller that just called in a little while ago, look, dude, you can call in this show with your own opinion and speak it and it be heard as long as it's respectful, but you better have tough skin if it's not accurate or if somebody else's opinion is different. Give your opinion, but you're more than likely going to get a rebuttal. So just don't get your feelings hurt.
No, I mean, if you're talking about Rusty ain't gonna be getting.
No, he's talking about not a former phone call, but the
talking about the email?
The email that you got.
Oh yeah, notice that he hasn't called yet. We're still waiting on that phone call, man.
So, you as a receiver, when do you get tired of running those routes and being overthrown constantly?
That's a great question, Daytona.
After the fourth time, he has to run back to the line of scrimmage. At some point, Swain's over there tapping his helmet after he's done running his route. I'm out. Somebody else go in and run this crap. And walks off at the 5-yard line and then walks down the sideline. Cracks me up when receivers do that.
I've never experienced what the receivers are experiencing right now. But knowing me, I would really have to use some self-control, because the last thing you want to do as a receiver is blow up too bad on your quarterback and then him not want to throw you the ball anymore. So, you got to be respectful, but at the same time, it's going to be hard to not show your frustration, which is what I would do. And this is 37-year-old Swain talking here after life experience and being able to look back and tell you how I would handle things. But I would just simply grab that quarterback and invite him to watch film as much as possible. I would have conversations. And this is why throwing 7-on-7 and 1-on-1s and routes versus air during the summer is so important, because you get a chance to talk about how you like the football being thrown. Talk about, what to look for, when you pass the DB after you beat him. Like, that time is so valuable. But no, I wouldn't be, Coach Cutcliffe used to really get on to receivers about this, not because we did it a lot, but because he hated that part of the football game. He hated when a receiver or tight end or running back go out for a pass and the quarterback makes a bad throw, not to show up the quarterback by being what he would call, quote, a dirt kicker. And you see the physical disgust, like you see the reaction, and you don't want to show up your quarterback. And we've seen quarterbacks, like I saw Aaron Rodgers, had to call timeout because guys wasn't lined up properly. But he didn't even he didn't show up the receiver, because you got to be careful doing that. You got to be careful embarrassing your teammates like that. So yeah, you frustrated, but at the same time, you don't want to show up your teammates publicly. But you better believe I'm having a conversation with my quarterback on the sideline, outside of the game, in the film room, saying, "Hey man, like, I ain't running all these damn yards to be for my health. I'm running all these yards to get open to catch the football. So what do we need to do to fix these issues?" I would be frustrated for sure.
Can we take a moment to recognize that every team in the NFC North lost over the weekend?
Oh, I know. That's a good tie.
And
I like that tie.
The most impressive team was the Detroit Lions in that division this weekend.
Good job, man. They 0-1 champions of the division.
0-1 champions of the NFC North. Speaking of participation
after week one,
trophies,
yay!
But still, the fact that the Lions looked better than the Vikings, Bears, and Packers week one is, I mean, it truly feels like something that the Lions should celebrate.
It's week one, man. The Lions should celebrate. It's something the Lions would celebrate.
Your thoughts on Andy Dalton?
He is who he is. The offensive line's trash, man.
So is Andy Dalton.
Yeah. He ain't trash, but the offensive line is. So might as well play Justin Fields if the offensive line is going to be what it is. That way you can move the pocket, make some plays with his legs. Hour 2 continues after this. Swain Event, fueled by Dead End Barbecue.
While the other guys are taking guesses, the Swain Event is taking you behind the scenes and in the huddle every morning from 7 till 10 right here.
More and more Tennessee businesses are switching to Iris Networks for reliable, local, high-quality, high-speed business fiber internet. Iris provides direct internet access from 10 megs to 10 gigs with no payments for 90 days. Iris also offers next-generation business phones with work-from-anywhere capability from the mobile or laptop app. With local sales, support, and service, Iris is a partner in the community. Learn more at irisnetworkusa.com or call 865-448-IRIS. Iris Networks, a Tennessee business connecting Tennessee businesses. Top 100 barbecue restaurant Dead End Barbecue is a no-brainer when you are craving the smoky flavor of quality Q. Dead End makes it easy to enjoy their fantastic menu with online ordering from Chow Now for pickup. Or, if you don't feel like leaving the house, then have Dead End Barbecue delivered right to your door by Loco Knoxville or Bite Squad. There is no better restaurant in town to enjoy the madness of March with. Cheer on the Vols and the Lady Vols with the best barbecue around. Check them out online at deadendbbq.com. Dead End Barbecue. The search is over.
Hey there, Swain Event listeners. I'm excited to share my new Keller Williams Realty app so you can tour homes without leaving yours. Not only can you search for homes in specific areas and neighborhoods, you can also have access to real-time market snapshots on stats like average home price and days on market, plus commute times from your office, school zones, and much more. Download my app today and get the most accurate information on buying, selling, and investing in real estate in your area. Just search for the Keller Williams Realty app and click on More in the lower right-hand corner. Type in Jennifer Morris in the Your Agent search bar, then save and you're set. And as always, feel free to reach out at 865-257-7897 or email me at jennifermorris865@gmail.com.
For what is coming up on the Swain Event.
We're here with Dr. Michael Carlson of Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine to discuss PRP, platelet-rich plasma. If you have orthopedic injuries such as shoulder pain, knee pain, Achilles tendonitis, or tennis elbow, you should give them a call.
Good to be back, Jason. We specialize in non-surgical orthopedics, so we treat damaged tendons, ligaments, and joints, including rotator cuff injuries, knee injuries, and elbow and foot problems by using ultrasound-guided injections with PRP. And this form of treatment helps stimulate the body's own reparative process and assist in the healing of damaged tissue.
Doc, what makes your training different than others?
I've been practicing in Knoxville for over 26 years, and I'm certified in interventional regenerative orthopedic medicine through the American Academy of Orthopedic Medicine. They've been the leader in this form of treatment since 1983. I also teach this form of treatment on a national and international basis to other physicians, residents, and medical students. Here in our clinic, I'm the one doing the procedure, and we're using your own PRP, which are concentrated platelets, to treat your injury. So in other words, Jason, it comes from you and it goes back to you, so you know exactly what you're getting and know exactly the level of training involved.
Do what the pros, college athletes, and I have done, and visit them online at trsportsmedicine.com. Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine, East Tennessee's leader in PRP therapy. Out-of-town law firms have been swarming into East Tennessee lately. Firms from Memphis, Chattanooga, and Birmingham have stormed into the area. Wouldn't you rather do business with a local law firm? You know, a true neighbor. Marcos Garza and the pros at the Garza Law Firm are just that. They are our neighbors and friends that support local causes year-round. The Garza Law Firm works to serve you professionally on criminal matters, injuries and accident matters, and Social Security and disability filings. The Garza Law Firm is here for you at garzalaw.com. The Garza Law Firm. Let us help. If you're coming to Knoxville and need a place to stay, do yourself a favor and book a room at Hampton Inn Paper Mill, also known as the Hampton on the Hill. This award-winning property is literally in the top 5% of all Hampton Inn properties. The GM, Stephen Lawrence, is a good old local boy who grew up in the business around Knoxville. He and his staff are always available, always willing to help, and will go above and beyond for their guests. The newest Hampton Inn in Knoxville has clean, affordable rooms, flat screens, fridges, and microwaves in every room. Plus, breakfast is included in every rate. Not to mention, there's also a pool and fitness center on site. If it wasn't so close to amazing restaurants, bars, and shopping, you would never want to leave. At only 6 miles from campus, you're still right in where the big orange action is. Go to HamptonInn.com, search Knoxville, and book your room at the Hampton Inn Paper Mill or call 865-693-5400. When you start your own business, you know that branding can make or break a new venture. That's why Swain Event relies on 42nd Street. 42nd Street is a strategy agency focused on finding creative, open-minded, results-driven solutions to brand design. After over a decade of operations in East Tennessee, the brand architects at 42nd Street have the experience and creative know-how to ensure the success of your business branding, logo, web presence, and more. To see a real-life example of their amazing work, you can check out our website at swainevent.com. Don't trust the branding of your business to just anyone. Check out my friends at 42nd Street online at 42st.com or give them a call at 865-382-7007. 42nd Street, brand, strategy, design.
There are articles and news stories that you read about the things that people do. And when you're reading those and you start to shake your head, you start to scratch your head a little bit, you get confused, you don't understand why, you start to ask questions. But really, there's only one question that matters. What is that question, you may ask?
For what?
Swain Event, SwainEvent.com, fueled by Dead End Barbecue. It is time for what here on the program. And Ben, man, what you got for what today?
Oh, I've got a doozy. I've got quite the for what, and you can imagine that we are going to the state of Florida.
Mine's in Florida too.
I wonder if we have the same one.
No, mine. I don't have mine pulled up. It's in my brain, man. I got it in my brain.
In the state of Florida, there was a naked woman who pulled up in a golf cart during an armed standoff. There was an armed standoff, and a naked woman reportedly pulled up in a golf cart, according to WFLA. The incident began Sunday morning, September 8th, in Dundon. Is that how you say it? Dundon, Florida? Dundon? I don't know. Somebody correct me. When Pinellas County Sheriff's deputies set up a perimeter outside a home on Michigan Boulevard near Madura Avenue, reporters say 18-year-old Miles Abbott was fleeing authorities before climbing on top of the roof and pointing a gun at them. This kicked off an hours-long standoff. Then, 28-year-old Elizabeth Smith, who had nothing to do with the situation, allegedly drove into the crime scene on the vehicle. An arrest affidavit says the Boston, Massachusetts woman even approached the house where the armed teenager was. Her actions and inability to follow directions put multiple deputies at risk for potentially getting shot at. Deputies say they were able to get her off the golf cart and handcuff her. The affidavit claims that there was a distinct odor of an alcoholic beverage coming from her person, and she was completely nude. Smith was charged with resisting an officer without violence. So about you and your fear of being a police officer and having to tackle somebody naked.
Man, that's one of my fears, man. On top of the obvious, which is being attacked. But my other fear would be having to subdue a naked person who was
even a female.
Yeah, man. Because in most cases, they're not gonna be attractive. So, nah, man, I don't want to do any naked folks because they're probably gonna be under the influence. They're gonna be on something. So, nah, man, that's one of my fears. That's crazy right there.
You going to Tallahassee for what?
Yep. How'd you know, Ben?
Because I had it bookmarked as well.
Listen.
Is this for what worthy, though?
It's definitely for what worthy. I love. Hey, we end the show with peace and love every single day, man. It's nothing better to see two love birds together, and nothing cooler than seeing a proposal, when it's done at a public place. I mean, Ben, you proposed to your wife right there along the river, Tennessee River. Man, hey, man, it warms my heart.
Mm-hmm.
Florida State football player decided to propose to his girlfriend in the Florida State end zone right after they lost to Jacksonville State. In the background, Jacksonville State player still celebrating. That was the only time you can propose to your girl at the Florida State Stadium? Is that the only time? You couldn't postpone that thing to another home game, or you didn't say, hey, maybe this ain't the right time? You're always going to have this memory of losing to Jacksonville State at your proposal. I'm sorry. Like, love is love. Love is great. He proposed to his girl. It's cool. She said yes. But this couldn't have been the only time you could have done this.
Here's my rebuttal. Not that I'm pro proposal in this situation, but upon further thinking yesterday.
Okay.
What if all family members are in attendance? You plan months making sure everybody was going to be there.
Omaha.
You're thinking you're going to kill Jacksonville State.
Omaha.
Even with everybody there, everything planned out. Like when I proposed, and obviously I didn't lose to Jacksonville State prior to proposing. I just walked across the stage at UT, got my degree. So I had an easy excuse to get all the family in the same spot at the same time. But it was still challenging to get grandparents all the way from West Tennessee to Knoxville, and friends up to Knoxville, and my wife's family members up to Knoxville. Like, there were a lot of moving parts, and several weeks of preparation went into this, and it would have created quite the cluster to call an Omaha in that situation and reconstruct a proposal. That's my only thought and rebuttal.
Wait an hour.
Wait. Do it outside the stadium.
Wait till Jacksonville State leaves the stadium. Bro, you have players in the background celebrating from Jacksonville State. You just lost one of the worst games in Florida State Stadium history. You're always going to remember losing to Jacksonville State. Now, I do get your point. Grandma and them coming. I understand that. But, man, you got to adjust. You got to do some in-game coaching here.
Taking after Mike Norvell, apparently.
My goodness. Brady Scott's like, man, forget that game. I don't care. I just got engaged. This is the happiest day of my life. The same day we lost to Jacksonville State. Just weird to me. That's all.
Yeah, that's an interesting combo to have in terms of memories. Like, I have two great memories from when I did it. I achieved my lifelong dream of graduating from Tennessee, and then 2 hours later, or an hour later, I got engaged. So, like, those are two great memories to have side by side, and quite different than losing to Jacksonville State in the manner that Florida State did, and then I proposed.
Alex says she should have said no if she was a real FSU fan.
She's not even wearing Florida State stuff in the photo.
She definitely won't be wearing it now. Hour 3 coming up.
Swain Event is brought to you by the Low T Center and lowtcenter.com. Do you know your numbers? Feel like you again. Let us help.
Guys, your health right now is more important than ever. I recommend Low T Center. That's where I get my levels checked. It all starts with the annual wellness exam where they do a comprehensive health assessment exclusively for men, making it quick and easy to take care of your health. And now they offer monitored self-inject at-home testosterone treatment. Most insurance is accepted. Go to lowtcenter.com now to book your appointment and make your health a priority. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
Out-of-town law firms have been swarming into East Tennessee lately. Firms from Memphis, Chattanooga, and Birmingham have stormed into the area. Wouldn't you rather do business with a local law firm? You know, a true neighbor. Marcos Garza and the pros at the Garza Law Firm are just that. They are our neighbors and friends that support local causes year-round. The Garza Law Firm works to serve you professionally on criminal matters, injuries and accident matters, and Social Security and disability filings. The Garza Law Firm is here for you at garzalaw.com. The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
More and more Tennessee businesses are switching to Iris Networks for reliable, local, high-quality, high-speed business fiber internet. Iris provides direct internet access from 10 megs to 10 gigs with no payments for 90 days. Iris also offers next-generation business phones with work from anywhere capability from the mobile or laptop app. With local sales, support, and service, Iris is a partner in the community. Learn more at irisnetworkusa.com or call 865-448-IRIS. Iris Networks, a Tennessee business connecting Tennessee businesses. Top 100 barbecue restaurant Dead End Barbecue is a no-brainer when you are craving the smoky flavor of quality Q. Dead End makes it easy to enjoy their fantastic menu with online ordering from Chow Now for pickup. Or if you don't feel like leaving the house, then have Dead End Barbecue delivered right to your door by Loco Knoxville or Bite Squad. Cheer on your favorite team with the best barbecue around. Check them out online at deadendbbq.com. Dead End Barbecue. The search is over.
When I made the move to my own studio, I was worried about this. I was worried about that. I was worried about, hey, did I get this piece of equipment? Did I get that piece of equipment? Does that sound good? Does that not sound good? One thing I didn't have to worry about, that was office furniture, because Office Furniture Outfitters met my furniture needs. With a 50,000 square foot facility, they have East Tennessee's largest selection and are the best value for new and used office furniture. Located in Knoxville, it's easy to find everything you need for your new space, including desks, file cabinets, chairs, conference tables, and more. Office Furniture Outfitters is turnkey. They came to my place, we mapped everything out that was needed, they delivered, and get this, set everything up. To learn more about what Office Furniture Outfitters can do for you, log on to ofonox.com. That's ofonox.com.
Around the SEC time here in the Swain Event, fueled by Dead End Barbecue, top 100 barbecue restaurant in America. Hour number 3, it is here, and it is powered by Low T Center and lowtcenter.com. Ben, what's on the list for around the SEC today?
It was all Tennessee-Pittsburgh during yesterday's show, as it should be. So didn't get to highlight what took place in the SEC over the weekend. So I want to take a look back at week 2 around the SEC. Alabama took care of business against Mercer, 48-14. Georgia, despite JT Daniels not playing because of an oblique injury, won 56-7. Georgia, very impressive against a good UAB football program. Texas A&M struggled mightily. Haynes King goes down to injury early in that game. We'll have more on him in just a moment. And Colorado led 7-3 for much of that game, and that game was in Colorado. Maybe A&M enjoyed themselves too much the night before.
It was at the Denver Broncos Stadium, and they had actually more Texas A&M fans than Colorado fans.
Not surprising. not surprising. A&M fans travel well. Wonder how much the air had to do with A&M. Not
It's
used to
different.
that altitude.
It's different.
It's different for sure. But A&M squeaks out a win against Colorado 10-7. Florida beat a really bad USF football team 42-20. Arkansas demolished Texas 40-21. That was a really cool scene. Arkansas fined $100,000 for allowing its students to storm the field, and it was worth every penny.
Allowed. There wasn't nothing they gonna do about it.
Well,
unless you get the police to start macing folks.
I know you were kind of off the grid yesterday afternoon, yesterday evening, but I don't know if you saw the video that Arkansas put out of AD Hunter Yurachek. He was talking to, I guess, the head of the police officers, or maybe that particular police officer just was one of the officers there. But the officer was asking, like, hey, what do you want us to do about the crowd coming down onto the field? And he said, let them down. We're going to get fined. But so be it.
Fans deserve it, man.
That's right.
Those fans deserve it. I don't like any SEC team or SEC fan base. I don't like them. I want all of them to lose,
especially Arkansas.
But
from baseball,
that football program, man. There's a lot of passion with those fans and a lot of history, and man, those fans been through a lot. So it was cool to see those guys perform the way they did on national stage, and man, good for those fans that had a really good time.
Yep. Auburn took care of Alabama State. 62-0. Auburn ran the ball really well. South Carolina squeaked out a win over East Carolina in East Carolina. Took a 50-yard field goal, a 50-yard last-second field goal for South Carolina to knock off ECU 20-17. South Carolina did not look good, has not looked good through the first 2 weeks, but kind of give them a little bit of grace because they are playing essentially a coach at quarterback in Zeb Nolan because of some injuries. Mississippi State beat NC State 24-10. Mississippi State's defense looked really good in that performance, and I was kind of surprised that Mississippi State won. NC State beat USF week 1 45-0, and I based off of how State barely beat Louisiana Tech, I kind of thought State would lose to NC State, but they didn't. State's defense played well and shut out the Wolfpack, the NC Max, and Mississippi State comes out with a win. Condolences to C-Mac on his loss. LSU beat McNeese 34-7. LSU continues to look pedestrian. Ole Miss beats Austin Peay 54-17. Kentucky wins over Missouri 35-28. That was a really good football game. I got to watch a good chunk of that one. Good football game between Missouri and Kentucky, back and forth. Just too many self-inflicted wounds for Missouri to overcome. And then how about Vanderbilt?
Good bounce back.
Winning a football game 24-21. You can throw all the jokes at me all you want, but that's impressive what Vanderbilt did. And I know Colorado State is terrible, but to lose to ETSU by 20 points, to be the laughingstock of the SEC opening weekend, laughingstock of really college football, that loss to ETSU picked up a lot of national headlines, even for Vanderbilt. To lose in that fashion and having lost, I think, like 11 games in a row, to go on the road and get down early and come back and win that football game, that's impressive. That's impressive. You can throw all the jokes at me all you want. I don't care. But that was impressive. So Vanderbilt gets on the board, and now they play a Stanford team this weekend that just got Clay Helton fired. USC's got a new head coach, or will have a new head coach. So congratulations early for Bill O'Brien on his new head coaching job.
Go ahead and throw the jokes out now about USC calling Tennessee's first-year coach.
They've already started.
Yeah, get the jokes out. It's gonna create a domino effect. I wonder what Dan Mullen's gonna do. Dan Mullen doesn't seem too happy down at Florida. Don't know if he's gonna get to the NFL, but man, USC, when you look at the top jobs in the country, what job would be on the same level or close to Florida? Because Florida's a top 5 job. Well, USC is one. So you look at possibly Dan Mullen, but yeah, Bill O'Brien, man, they're gonna have their pick. They're gonna have the pick of the litter for sure, man. They'll have wide open coaching search, and James Franklin was tied to that job. The last time Clay Helton was on the hot seat, and Clay Helton can't really complain too much, man. He's been given every opportunity to be successful. He's been given every opportunity to keep his job, but it was time. Just a little weird to do it, after the second game of the season, but still, man, he's had his chance. He's had his chances. No reason why USC shouldn't be good in football. No reason.
They don't care. Like, I follow Matt Leinart on Twitter. I started following him and Reggie Bush recently because I watched the big noon kickoff, and I think they do a great job. And just to see their tweets about kind of the lack of interest in USC football, USC athletics, just USC, UCLA. I mean, they truly do not care out there.
UCLA
it's
beat
amazing.
Well, UCLA beat LSU. So you got to think about that, maybe playing into the decision. Like, all right, man, UCLA is starting to get more recognition. They're in a better spot than us. All right, we got to make a move now. So, but that's always been a Pac-12 problem, man. I mean, the last time I remember real interest was when Reggie Bush and Matt Leinart played at USC, and Lindell White and those boys, man. They had the Coliseum rocking. Snoop Dogg's on the sideline. They had it rocking. Swain Event, fueled by Dead End Barbecue. Stay with us.
Hour 3 of the Swain Event is brought to you by the Low T Center and lowtcenter.com. Do you know your numbers? Feel like you again. Let us help.
Is that as low as you can go? Okay, thank you. Hello, is that as low as you can go? Okay, thank you.
What are you doing?
Calling around to get the best rate on a car loan.
Why? Everyone knows Alcoa 10 is the best choice to purchase a vehicle or refinance your current loan. And with low interest rates and 90 days to your first payment, it's a no-brainer. You can even apply online and sign all the documents from the convenience of your home.
Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking.
Alcoa 10 Credit Union. It's so easy. Go to atfcu.com for details. Rates are dependent on credit score and equal housing lender.
When you start your own business, you know that branding can make or break a new venture. That's why Swain Event relies on 42nd Street. 42nd Street is a strategy agency focused on finding creative, open-minded, results-driven solutions to brand design. After over a decade of operations in East Tennessee, the brand architects at 42nd Street have the experience and creative know-how to ensure the success of your business branding, logo, web presence, and more. To see a real-life example of their amazing work, you can check out our website at swainevent.com. Don't trust the branding of your business to just anyone. Check out my friends at 42nd Street online at 42st.com or give them a call at 865-382-7007. 42nd Street, brand, strategy, design.
Top 100 barbecue restaurant Dead End Barbecue is a no-brainer when you are craving the smoky flavor of quality Q. Dead End makes it easy to enjoy their fantastic menu with online ordering from Chow Now for pickup. Or if you don't feel like leaving the house, then have Dead End Barbecue delivered right to your door by Loco Knoxville or Bite Squad. Cheer on your favorite team with the best barbecue around. Check them out online at deadendbbq.com. Dead End Barbecue. The search is over. If you want to get in on the conversation, call the Iris Networks hotline at 865-200-5503. Grow your business with Iris Networks high-speed fiber internet. irisnetworksusa.com.
Swain Event, SwainEvent.com, fueled by Dead End Barbecue, top 100 barbecue restaurant in America. It is Tuesday. It's that time of the week when we are joined by Austin Price of VolQuest.com. AP, good morning, sir.
How are you, Jason Swain? I got a question for you, though.
What you
On
got?
General's quarters, it says that you don't like Harrison Bailey. Is that true?
No, I don't really care about who the quarterback is. I've never met Harrison Bailey, but that's not true, man. That's not true. Do I like him as a starter? No, I don't like him as a starter because he hasn't earned the right to be a starter yet. But it's football season, man. We know how stuff goes. People want to do that, man. That's what people want to do, man. It ain't about like. It ain't about dislike. It's about making the plays in practice consistently, and the coaches feeling like who's the best option. And every fan base in America wants the second-string quarterback. In this case, you want the third-string quarterback, which I haven't heard of in a very, very long time, where someone totally skips over the second-string quarterback to want the third-string quarterback. But no, man, that's not true. Not about like and dislike.
Just checking.
What you say over there? Yeah, man, you can't believe Swain saying that over there, man. I can't believe he don't like Harrison Bailey, man. He don't like him. What the hell like got to do with anything?
That's what Ben did.
What does like got to do with anything? Who cares about liking somebody? It's about getting a job done. It ain't about liking somebody. So no, I never met the kid. I've heard great things about him. Heard he works his tail off. I actually heard he outworks most people on that football team. But it ain't got nothing to do with like. Anyways, who's going to be the starter, AP, since you want to put me on the spot? I'm going to put your ass on the spot.
I don't know, man. That's a good question. I'm not Josh Heupel. If I were going to place money on it, and I don't think I probably would, but if I had free money to place, I would bet Hendon Hooker starts, Joe Milton plays. They basically kind of let Joe get a feel for the game, kind of like they did, the last staff did with Jarrett when he didn't start a couple of games and came off the bench. But who knows? Maybe Joe Milton will be the guy they trot out there first for Tennessee Tech.
Who deserves to start?
Man, can we answer none of the above?
Oh, yeah, it's tough, man. I wouldn't want to be hyper for sure. I'll tell you that much.
Hendon's not played perfect. Hendon did some nice things Saturday, but was not perfect. And obviously Joe is. The overthrows Saturday were just he the one to Hyatt should have been a touchdown, and then after that, it was it was bad. The overthrow to Cedric Tillman was, it was egregious.
Yeah,
and
the one to Hyatt wasn't on Joe to me.
No, it wasn't. But the other ones were.
Yeah, the other ones.
The one to Javonte Payton, the one to. Again, Cedric Tillman was literally. I'm pretty sure he would have been on a milk carton. That's how lost he got in the secondary for Pitt. He was stretching the old legs, and nobody was close.
Yeah, it was bad. Now I made a point earlier in the week, actually yesterday, about how receivers could do a better job of running on the deep routes, not to take up for Joe. It wasn't a or situation; it was more like and. Like Joe has to hit those receivers, and here's another note that would help the receivers too. Be able to, maybe track some of those deep passes or get closer to those passes or even maybe catch it. A couple guys slowed down, didn't pump their arms all the way through the catch. But that's subtle. That's because I see that playing the position. But yeah, Joe he got to hit that, man. And Hendon got to take care of the football. And a healthy Joe Milton makes it even more awkward and weird for Josh Heupel. But this is why he's paid the big bucks to be the quarterback whisperer. He's proven that he has done a good job managing quarterbacks and developing quarterbacks. So do you think all three guys will play this game? All three quarterbacks will play in this game if they take care of business?
Well, I certainly think that's possible, Jason. I mean, Furman shut out Tennessee Tech last week. I mean, Tennessee should win this game going away. And honestly, if I'm Tennessee, I come out and I don't run it. I mean, I throw it and throw it and throw it and throw it. And, if you can hang 70 on them, you hang 70 on them. I mean, I know they're just down the road in Cookeville, and I'm sure some nice people, but much like the Bowling Green game, Tennessee's football program needs a good kind of cleanse game, and to go out and score 70 on an inferior opponent, hadn't happened a whole lot around here lately. So if you can do it, you do it.
How surprised are you that we are having these conversations just 2 weeks into the season?
I mean, I'm a bit surprised that, we are where we are. I mean, as far as just like the instability that still remains at that position. I'm not saying that when we got to the end of the season, Tennessee wasn't going to look back and go, we could have been better in that area. But 2 games in, I'm surprised that there's the instability and the talking points, that Tennessee currently has, which surrounds this football program.
Awesome Price, VolQuest.com. How was recruiting last weekend? I know the first game didn't get a chance to get any visitors in. How was recruiting weekend for Tennessee, the first big-time game of the season on a Saturday?
Well, the one guy that I'm most interested to talk to, someone that Ben and Eric and myself have all called and come up empty on, and that's James Pierce, the Leo outside linebacker pass rusher from Charlotte, North Carolina. And, that's the one guy I want to hear from. I mean, Tennessee had a bunch of 23s and 24s in, which is good. They had, some committed guys like, Addison Nichols and Taven Jackson that were here. That's good. But, I mean, when you look at the current class, uncommitted guys, James Pierce is one that Tennessee really, really likes a lot. And, to get him over here unofficially, which means you can bring him back later officially, is a great sign. Long way to go in that one, it feels like to me. But, that's the one kid I'd like to hear from. I've not heard from him.
Austin, in terms of committed guys right now, are there any ones that kind of have your eyebrow raised in terms of maybe being offered by a particular school or just anything that you're keeping an eye on with committed guys at the moment?
Well, I mean, I think a guy like Jordan Phillips, from Orlando, he went to visit Florida unofficially a couple of weeks ago. I mean, anytime you have players going on someone else's campus that are committed to you, that's worrisome. I mean, listen, in modern age of recruiting, I mean, commitments mean really nothing in a lot of ways. I mean, so the kids sign. I mean, I know it's always been the case, but at the same time, modern day kids just bounce around like a ping pong ball. I mean, it's one of those things where you don't blink an eye if a kid changes its commitment 2 or 3 times. Not every kid's that way, but there's a portion that are. So anytime the kids are visiting elsewhere, you have to be on alert. And so I still think Jordan Phillips is solid at Tennessee. He says all the right things, but again, he felt the need to go over to Gainesville and watch a game, and so Tennessee will have to continue to battle that one out. I expect Rodney Garner to be there and watch him play. When Tennessee plays at Florida, 10 or 11 days from now, I think not this Friday, but next Friday, he'll be at Jordan Phillips' game.
Awesome Price, VolQuest.com. I know Heupel yesterday touched on some of the guys that got banged up during the game and some of the guys that did not play, specifically Cooper Mays. Any update on those guys on a Tuesday morning, AP?
No, I mean, I think Cooper is in a much better place than he was a week ago at this point. And Heupel was kind of asked this yesterday in his press conference about, how do you weigh playing a guy that's 80% and could play versus allowing him to get to 100, for next week against Florida or get closer to 100. He kind of gave a long-winded answer. I don't feel like he really answered the guy. But at the same time, I just feel like Tennessee doesn't need Cooper Mays to beat Tennessee Tech. They can really use him, a week from now when they go to Florida. So I wouldn't play him like Jabari Small. I wouldn't play Jabari Small, and I would call Jabari Small probably really questionable at this point. But I think Jabari could be back for Florida. You should get Tyon back this week, and that'll help out quite a bit. Byron Young wasn't injured, but he's back this week. Jalen Hyatt, I've never heard an update on him really. But I think Tennessee on the whole will be fairly healthy heading into this week, and I think they'll be almost 100% healthy heading to Florida, barring anything happening this weekend.
Ben McKee, VolQuest.com, and the Swain Event. See if Austin picks up on that inside joke. Austin, Byron Young, just how big of a boost is he to this defense? I know we won't really tell this weekend against Tennessee Tech, but when Tennessee lines up against Florida, do you think it's going to be obvious that he's the best pass rusher on the team?
Well, we all know how good he was in fall camp. But fall camp's fall camp. Trayvon Flowers had a great fall camp and hasn't played that well through 2 games. Joe Milton was a different quarterback in fall camp, versus the games. So I don't want to say he's going to be, Reggie White coming off the edge. I also don't want to say you can't expect anything out of him either. Like I just think that he's the unknown. I think everybody's excited. I think he's excited. I think the coaching staff's excited about having him back. The one guy that probably is more excited than anybody is Tyler Barron, because now it frees him up on the other side a lot more than what he's seen the first couple of games, and he's still been able to make plays through the first couple of games. So I think the potential is there, Ben, for Byron Young to really take off. And this is a good opponent to kind of dip your feet in the pool in on, because he should have some success Saturday against Tennessee Tech.
Hey, Austin, say excited again, the way you said it.
Excited.
You know who you sound like?
Who?
Jeremy Pruitt.
Jeremy Pruitt.
You sound just like Pruitt, man. When you say the word excited, it reminds me of Coach Pruitt.
Gets excited.
He would say, we're excited.
That's how you sound. Sound just like it.
You and Pruitt do sound very similar. That's why you do such a great Pruitt impression.
That's great, guys.
Hey, through 2 games, AP, who you think has been Tennessee's best player? You all right?
Yeah, I'm just, you would. I think Tyon would have had the possibility to be. I think Tyler Barron defensively has been Tennessee's best player. Offensively, I don't know if there is a best player on offense. Scored 38 and 34 respectively, but there's been so many people in and out and all that. So I'll go with nobody on offense. I think Tyler Barron's been Tennessee's best player through 2 games. Who do you think Tennessee's best player has been?
Theo Jackson.
I'm 26. Theo Jackson.
Yeah, probably the most consistent player. I can't, disagree with that part. But as far as like big play momentum, I think Tyler Barron. Give me Tyler Barron.
Yeah. Awesome Price, VolQuest.com here. Through 2 games, what has been the biggest difference that you have seen in this team on the field from last year to this year?
They've played hard. They've kept playing all the way to the gun, and so which goes back to team chemistry, staff chemistry, all that stuff we talked about all off season. For me, that's the one thing that I've continued to hear from different people is, they compete and they look like they're having a good time. It bothered them when they lost Saturday, little stuff like that. There's a buy-in, from this group because as one player pointed out to me, we're the group that wants to be here. Everybody here wanted to be here, and so I think there's a real buy-in from this group of kids, and so I just think the competitive spirit's what's really stood out to me.
Austin, do you have any theories as to why Velus isn't getting more touches? I know he dealt with a hamstring during fall camp. Do you think that's why he's kind of been MIA here and there the first 2 weeks, or something else?
He's got to get open better. You've had certain guys running wide open. I just don't remember Bayless running wide open a whole lot. And maybe that's because he's not fully healthy. But, if you're returning kicks and you're returning punts, I would venture to say you're healthy. So, I just think you got to do a better job of getting open. He's not holding up that standard of that number 1 jersey.
Hey, man, big shoes to fill.
Michael Pilardi is very disappointed.
Yeah, big shoes to fill, man. Big shoes to fill. Kenny O'Neill wants to see more.
Kenny O'Neill.
Jonathan Kongbo.
He wants to see more.
Eating ice cream right now and disappointed in Velus' performance through 2 weeks.
Oh, my God.
The number 1 jersey. Oh, man. All right, AP. Tennessee. Who played today? Who played this week?
Tennessee Tech.
What time they play?
Noon.
Oh, yeah.
How many people you think are going to be there, Austin? Over 60,000? Or is it going to look like a spring game?
Ooh.
I think the students will not be there.
Yeah, the first 5 rows will be lined with students, and then it's just a big blank bald spot behind it.
82.
They'll announce in the 80s, but it won't sniff the 80s.
No way. They announced 82 in the Pitt game. They may announce 80, but it won't be anywhere close to 80.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, AP, man, tonight, Tennessee Prime at Gus's Fried Chicken. Who are going to be the guest for tonight? Or the play?
It will be Jimmy Callaway and Cade May tonight on Tennessee Prime. Coming up 7 o'clock on the Swain Event app, the Swain Event YouTube channel, Swain Twitter, and the VolQuest YouTube channel.
Fair to say that Jimmy Callaway is by far going to be everybody's favorite through 3 weeks. I don't even think it's going to be close.
After tonight?
Yes, he is a whole lot of fun, isn't he, Austin?
He is, but he also gives you forward answers at times. So I'm like, I told him, I said, you got to bring the personality, and you got to be able to converse. This isn't like he has one-liners that gets everybody tickled. But I want him to. We're going to deep dive on Jimmy Callaway. Find out what he likes. What's your favorite subject in school, Jimmy?
Football.
That type of thing.
Yeah, football.
It'd be good, man. It'll be good. It's, the program's all about getting a chance to have some in-depth conversations with the players that you normally don't hear, and just have a real laid-back, chill conversation, man. It could be about ball. It could be about away from the practice field, away from the game field.
Personal foul calls, cleaning up the pile.
I've already told Cade we will deep dive into his junior year at Catholic personal foul penalty.
Well, I take responsibility for what happened against Pitt because I kind of hyped him up last week when Hubs was there, and he talked about hitting getting personal fouls because him and Tyler Barron was talking about it and how Cade like
Who?
had a. Him and Tyler Barron was talking about how Cade had like the record for personal fouls.
I didn't know Tyler Barron was on last week. I thought it was Tyler Barron wrong.
Oh, Tyler Barron.
Ben, wasn't it Tyler Barron wrong?
Yeah, sure.
Anyways, and so Cade was going back and forth with Tyler, and I was like, man, I like that stuff. I like it, man. I like it. And as soon as it happened there in the first half, when he got that 15-yard penalty, I thought about what I said Tennessee Prime last week, and I was like, man, it's my fault.
It is your fault.
It's my fault. I hyped him up.
Yeah. Well.
It's my fault. But, yeah, we'll definitely have to talk about that tonight.
Yeah. Also, on a serious note, ask him about the Darnell Wright false start because it looked like Cade triggered Darnell when he clapped his hands.
Yeah, Darnell wanted some answers.
Yeah, he was not happy. He stormed over.
Y'all set me up. Somebody set me up. Somebody tricked me. Who tricked me? Yeah, so we'll have a good time.
Darnell
man.
acted like he read one of my tweets.
Man, he'll have a good time, man. And Cade is someone that can handle, being in that situation after a tough loss. He's a professional, even though he's not a professional, but he really is a professional because of NIL, I guess. So, 7 p.m. Not 7 a.m., but 7 p.m. at Gus's Fried Chicken. It will be Jimmy Callaway, Cade Mays tonight. So I'm looking forward to it, man.
It will be good. We will have Cade on pretty much all year, and we'll probably have Tyler Barrow back on later in the year as well.
All right, AP.
Come on, Swain. You just totally just glossing over that.
Yeah. Yep, totally glossing over it. Lil Pruitt. All right, Lil Pruitt. We got to let you go, man. Get out of here, Lil Pruitt.
I mean, we really struggled against the Broncos this weekend. I mean, we just couldn't. I mean, I don't know. We just didn't have it. Saquon was not very good.
I don't know how they lost against Pittsburgh. I left them all the talent in the world. All right, get out of here, man, before you get in trouble. Before I get in trouble.
Bye.
See ya. Oh, man. AP is such a goober.
That is one way to describe it.
AP's time is brought to you by Jiffle Moore's Keller Williams Realty, 865-257-7897. It's her telephone number if you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate. Email her at jifflemores865@gmail.com. Time to take a quick break. Be right back. Swain Event.
For a replay of each day's Swain Event TV, like us on Facebook.
Good morning, Swain Event crew. As the weather heats up, so does our market. And from Johnson City to Knoxville, eager buyers are grabbing up many available properties. The chili is hot in East Tennessee, so if you are ready to buy or sell or want to talk more about our local real estate market, I'm just a phone call away. Or email me at jennifermorris865@gmail.com. And go Vols!
JC's Tree and Landscaping Service specializes in quality tree work done at an affordable price. Trimming and removing trees are their specialty. They also offer other services like land clearing, stump grinding, crane services, and all of your basic landscaping needs for both commercial and residential. JC's will give you a free estimate and beat any written quote by a competitor to guarantee that you get the lowest price around. Don't risk your land with a fly-by-night service. JC's Tree and Landscaping is licensed and insured. Give them a call at 865-599-3799. We're here with Dr. Michael Carlson of Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine to discuss PRP, platelet-rich plasma. If you have orthopedic injuries such as shoulder pain, knee pain, Achilles tendonitis, or tennis elbow, you should give them a call.
Good to be back, Jason. We specialize in non-surgical orthopedics, so we treat damaged tendons, ligaments, and joints, including rotator cuff injuries, knee injuries, and elbow and foot problems by using ultrasound-guided injections with PRP. And this form of treatment helps stimulate the body's own reparative process and assist in the healing of damaged tissue.
Doc, what makes your training different than others?
I've been practicing in Knoxville for over 26 years, and I'm certified in interventional regenerative orthopedic medicine through the American Academy of Orthopedic Medicine. They've been the leader in this form of treatment since 1983. I also teach this form of treatment on a national and international basis to other physicians, residents, and medical students. Here in our clinic, I'm the one doing the procedure, and we're using your own PRP, which are concentrated platelets, to treat your injury. So in other words, Jason, it comes from you and it goes back to you. So you know exactly what you're getting and know exactly the level of training involved.
Do what the pros, college athletes, and I have done, and visit them online at trsportsmedicine.com. Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine, East Tennessee's leader in PRP therapy.
More and more Tennessee businesses are switching to Iris Networks for reliable, local, high-quality, high-speed business fiber internet. Iris provides direct internet access from 10 megs to 10 gigs with no payments for 90 days. Iris also offers next-generation business phones with work from anywhere capability from the mobile or laptop app. With local sales, support, and service, Iris is a partner in the community. Learn more at irisnetworkusa.com or call 865-448-IRIS. Iris Networks, a Tennessee business connecting Tennessee businesses.
Home service problems occur, even at the most inconvenient times, like during a health crisis. And Keller is always here to help you 24/7. As people are social distancing and staying at home on workdays, it's an easier time to take care of home maintenance items that you feel are necessary. And we've put new safety precautions in place, like wearing gloves, avoiding physical contact, new sanitation protocols, and limiting time in your home. We're here for you.
Call the Happy Face Truck today.
Hour 3 of the Swain Event is brought to you by the Low T Center and LowTCenter.com. Do you know your numbers? Feel like you again. Let us help.
Swain Event, SwainEvent.com, fueled by Dead End Barbecue, hour number 3. Before we wrap up today's program, first, thanks to Austin Price for joining us. And Sunday, got a chance to interview Jacob Warren there on WVLT, the locker room, and he had his biggest day as a volunteer in the passing game. Had 5 catches,
Career high.
The tight ends had 9 catches themselves, but he had 5 catches for 55 yards, had a touchdown, along with 34, seam route up the middle. Great pass from Hooker. He did a good job of high pointing it, bringing it down, and getting to the end zone. But, man, he is in paradise right now because his position coach, Alex Golish, is the OC. And so just wanted to share our conversation from the locker room on VLT. So here's my conversation with Jacob Warren, tight end. Happy to be here with Jacob Warren. Jacob, you know the old saying, the eye in the sky don't lie. And so when you watch film, what do you see when you see Tennessee, your team play? What kind of team do you think you are right now, just based on the film that you saw in the previous 2 games?
Yeah, kind of one thing that y'all were talking about earlier, and something that I'm proud of and proud to be a part of, is just the fact that we never laid down, and we don't plan to anybody this season. And just seeing the fact that even through the last play, however it ended up, we're all still fighting, we're all still trying to do the right thing. And so that's something I can kind of hang my hat on. It's just constantly attacking, constantly being around the ball. If I'm trying to block for somebody, finishing my blocks, make sure my dude doesn't make the play. So I see that all over the field, and that's something that I can really say I'm proud of.
I mean, you're a perfect example of just keeping your head down, working. You came here expecting to play an offense that was going to feature the tight end a lot more. That was not the case. Now you're getting the ball. You and Princeton Fant combined for 9 catches. You had 5 catches for 55 yards and touchdown. Just how do you feel about having a big impact in a big time game?
Yeah, I mean it's great. Obviously, that's what we want to do every week. We want to have our hand in the pass game and the run game. Just be able to do whatever we can to win. So I think we did that last week. Hopefully, just that'll continue as we go on through the season.
Man, football's the ultimate team game. It's not like basketball where you got one guy just takes over like LeBron James and Michael Jordan. But when you have one of your teammates struggling, specifically the quarterback position, how do you, as a tight end, as one of the leaders on the team, what do you do to make sure like you're doing enough to help him kind of boost his game a little bit?
Right. Obviously, there's nothing I can tell him about how he takes his drops or how he throws the ball or how he reads the coverages and stuff like that. But I can just be there to kind of instill some confidence in him. Every time before we go out there, I'll tell him, like, look, bro, like, I trust you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I believe in you. Let's go ride. Let's go do this thing. So that's all I can really do is just encourage them and know that we got their back no matter what happens or what decisions they make.
What's the communication like on the sideline between the offense and defense? When the offense maybe turns the ball over, defense is like, we got you. We're going to get the ball back. What's the communication like between the two units?
Just like what you just said. As we're crossing paths or whatever, say it's a turnover and a quick change and we're all running on and they're running off, whatever it is, it's always encouragement from them. And both sides just saying, like, look, guys, like, we're in this together. Like, we've messed up too. Y'all just messed up, but we got your back. Like, it's no big deal.
Two games, I've noticed the defense kind of be affected by the tempo. I saw it in the first quarter against Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm.
Are you able to see it, like see it in real time, see the guys across from you, look in their eyes and say, okay, yeah, I can see it, man. They're getting a little tired.
Right. Obviously, it's funny when you're lined up and you're ready to go. You're like, hey, where's the 9 technique at? You know what I mean? Like he was just right there, and he's still trying to run over here and get set for the play. Or like you said, just seeing guys with their hands on their hips or just look like they just can't really keep up, and that obviously gives us a big advantage over them.
Josh Heupel talks about wanting to see the strain, and I saw it yesterday for sure. I mean, this team last year would have been down probably 2 or 3 scores. I saw the strain. What's been some of the biggest differences that you have noticed from this team last year to this team this year?
Like you said, we call it attack in the program, and that's just playing your butt off from the snap of the ball until the whistle and taking pride in that I'm playing harder than the man across from me. A lot of times, like, that'll cover up your technical errors or, if you're blocking the wrong guy but you're pushing him 20 yards down the field, is it really going to matter? Like, obviously, we'll clean it up in the film room, but they just want to see that we're constantly trying to finish, constantly trying to just play harder than our opponent.
Any trash talk that goes on between you and the Catholic boys on the team, the local guys?
That's in the past. We talk about it every once in a while, but obviously I did what I did at Farragut, and it was great. But we kind of just try to focus on Tennessee now.
One thing Kay can't say that he had a one-handed catch on SportsCenter, right?
That's true. ESPN top 10.
For sure, man. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, good stuff from Jacob Warren, man. I'm sending that dude down SEC Media Days next year for sure, because he has another year of eligibility because of the COVID rule. So, man, he does a great job of representing Tennessee. Super positive, and he is one of the leaders on the football team. Man, he's in a good spot. I think it speaks to patience and believing in yourself. He had a chance to move on and go to another place, but he's from here. He always wanted to be here, and finishing here was something that was important to him, and it's paying off. He's playing in an offense that right now is featuring a tight end. His position coach is the offensive coordinator. What a 360 turn it was for him in the last 12 months, because that was certainly not the case before, even though Jim Chaney is a tight end guy. We understand the kind of the situation with the previous staff. So, yeah, he's in a good spot, man, and right now he's one of the top targets on the team.
It was really cool to see his dad after the game at Dead End on Saturday. I ran into his dad, James, at Dead End, who also played at Tennessee.
Played offensive line back in the day when offensive linemen were, like, super small.
And he is super tall.
Oh, yeah, that's why Jacob was super tall.
Yes, but it was just really cool to talk to him for a moment or so and just see how happy he was for for his son, because Jacob truly is a great dude, and speaks really well, represents Tennessee in a great way, and should absolutely go down to SEC Media Days next season. He represents Tennessee very well, and thoughtful answers and lengthy, thoughtful answers. So I'm really happy for the Warrens. Just a great family. And enjoyed seeing Mr. Warren at Dead End after the game on Saturday. My wife got stuff to cook for me on my birthday, but the game was over, and I was like, I'm feeling dead end, which she was fine with. I mean, we just ate the food the next day.
Yeah, it was your birthday. That's the only reason.
Cool. Yeah,
that's the only reason she was cool with.
She honestly didn't say nothing about it. I think she was cool with it. So
here buying groceries, and you want to eat out? Okay, all right. I'm gonna let it slide today because it's your birthday.
I was craving dead end. I wanted the Mac Attack after the game, and went and got me Mac Attack. Had me a nice couple drinks and some banana pudding. Got me
I didn't get a phone call.
A small sausage and cheese play. I almost texted you, but I was like, nah, I'm good.
Nah, I'm good.
I was booked.
I don't want to hang out.
I was booked. I didn't want to hang with you, but saw
it's all good, man.
Saw the Warrens in there. Saw the Bumphuses in there. I saw Latrell. I was wondering if Latrell's brother or cousin.
It was his brother.
Brother.
Mm-hmm.
I was wondering if Latrell's brother was in there, because there were several guys that looked like could have passed as Latrell's brother. So wonder if Latrell's brother's listening right now and think, hey, that was me. But saw the Bumphuses in there. You always see athletes and coaches in Dead End. It's really cool. You could go in today for lunch and you're likely to see Rick Barnes. Rick loves the place. It's really dope.
Yeah, you just never know, man. You just never know who you may run into there at Dead End Barbecue. I was meeting Kenny. Kenny came in town and went to the game, brought his two sons and his wife.
I didn't get a phone call.
Got a chance to meet him. We didn't have any more seats.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, the table was booked.
Mm-hmm.
And so, saw some VFLs in there. Saw, John Chavis in there. And so, you just never know who you might see there at Dead End Barbecue. All right, let me get the text box. Rodney says she will bring it up in about 2 weeks.
She ain't gonna bring it up.
What's wrong with number 10? Yeah, I mean, I was expecting a whole lot more, honestly, from number 10, Jawan Mitchell. Only one solo tackle, had 7 total tackles on the day. But maybe that's just because my expectations were a little too high. But
I think everybody's were.
Yeah.
I think everybody expected him to come in and be an eraser. That's what you think of when you think of great linebackers. When you think of Al Wilson, Ray Lewis comes to mind, just because I saw Ray Lewis last night on the broadcast with Peyton and Eli. They were erasers for their defense. They took care of things, and I think everybody expected that from Jawan Mitchell. And although he led the team in tackles at Texas, that doesn't mean that you're an eraser. That just means that you had the most tackles.
Sometimes
that can be deceiving. It can be a deceiving stat. So not saying that Jawan Mitchell is bad. I just think he's kind of solid. Just solid and not what people thought he was going to be, or not what people think that he is.
Big Willie Styles says the Lakers and Dodgers are rolling now. Sidewalk alumni doesn't care. You forgot to add Urban to the list. Yeah, Urban was part of that Fox Sports college football crew, and it was really uncomfortable because Reggie and Matt Leinart was lobbying for him to be the coach the whole time when Clay Helton was the coach. And, Urban, he may get a little cough going on down in Jacksonville and
rough opener.
Stay away from the NFL and go back to USC or go to USC. I can see Urban taking a Nick Saban approach and being like, forget this, or by Petrino, who left in the middle of the night when he was with the Falcons. Hollow Rock Vol says Tennessee was the only SEC team to lose this weekend. Yeah.
They're also one of the only teams to actually play a legitimate opponent, and Missouri lost.
Yeah, they won't be losing this weekend. So boom, Hollow Rock Vol. Neil Mafia, you ain't got no sense.
Shocker.
Let's see here. Rivers 1652 says, first, I love the show. I'm in North Carolina. I listen every day. Having been a coach for over 20 years in high school, I can honestly say I make mistakes every game. I am sure, even though Hypo makes $4 million to not make mistakes, there's plenty of calls each game that he would like to have back, but he would never admit that in front of the press. 1,000% Rivers. 1,000%. Jennifer Moore says, she just tuned in around the bottom of the 8 o'clock hour there at 8:33. Says, is Ben discussing kissing his sister with a caller? What in the heck? You heard that wrong, Jennifer. You heard that wrong. Just timing. Then Mafia being silly.
Shocker.
He's being silly over here, man. Ken says, hope Hyatt is okay. Hope it's a mild injury that heals up soon. That said, let's see other receivers step up and replace him. Shouldn't be too hard since he's struggling catching anything through 2 games. Where in the world is Velus? That's what Ken said on text box. That's pretty much it that I can see that's appropriate to read here. And he can't read anything from the Mafia.
Who did he cuss out this morning?
JL talking about Joe Milton, talking about his time in Michigan. So far in 2 games, he's kind of picking up where he's left off in Michigan. So it'll be interesting to see what Hypo does with him in this football game and heading into Florida. Just thanks to everybody for sending some love, support regarding Paris Harrison. We lost him way too early. 37 years old, passed away yesterday, and I was telling you, Ben, during the breaks, man, he was a guy that I looked up to, and I saw the way he carried himself as a professional before he was a professional, how he treated people. Just was a good dude, man. Just a great dude, and this one hurts. This one definitely hurts, man. Got a chance to talk to Monterio Hardesty a little bit yesterday, and Coach Hardesty is over there, South Carolina, coaching the running backs. But he shared the story with me about Paris, taking him in as a freshman and showing him love and pointing him in the right direction. That's just the type of dude that Paris Harrison was, and you could just see by some of the responses yesterday on social media. I anticipate Tennessee is going to do something this weekend to honor Paris because they understand how important he was as a player and how special he was as a human. So I'm going to miss you, Paris, man. And rest easy, my friend. For Ben McKee, I'm Jason Swain. Hope y'all have a great day. We'll be back tomorrow, 7 a.m. Peace and love. We are out. Swain Event, fueled by Dead End Barbecue.